look at some training national issues in which we just throw our throw lights on, wait on our team of panelists to come on. Before then we will cross over to them and have a joint discussion on your number one platform. So I say good evening, good afternoon, good morning. For some of you, for those of you watching us online, the closing argument official Facebook page. Some of you following this broadcast here for Liberia and also on Facebook. Somebody following the broadcast who said, "Welcome to the program. We are here for now, straight up to 12:30 Liberian time AM. That will be the next morning, talking about things that affect our country, national issues, whatever we'll be showing light on. That's just what we show light on this platform here, and we do it in a very open way where we give you our audience the opportunity for you to participate. Uh, you know, so as we wait on our team of panelists to join us shortly tonight on closing argument on Wednesday edition, and we should be having on some mobile a representative from Maserado County. He should be our guest tonight on closing argument. So we will be one or the meantime until our panelists can come on. When they come on, then the next thing we do, we're going to join discussion where uh, we talk about things that affecting our country. This is our country. I always tell you guys, you can never be deported from this country here. You can never, under no condition. Whether you're in Europe, whether in Asia, whether in America, where you find yourself, when you are back home here, you can never be deported from this country. So when you come back home, all you do now, join your colleagues. Yeah, we put hands around each other so we can now see how best we can build our country. Put hands around each other to see how best we can develop our country. So when you are sent back home, don't feed and don't come back and sit and say, I will just sit and watch or monitor what's happening in Liberia. No. When you come back home, sit, observe, see where you can make positive impact. Yes, see where you can make a positive impact. So you join, you go there, put your hands there, and help other people to see how best they can push this country forward. So welcome to closing argument tonight. From Liberia, streaming this program live on Facebook. We say thanks to Myean is the one who behind the camera, streaming this program. So for those of you following us online, then for the radio aspect here, my name is Ansu. So I'm always saying for Henry, and the both of us we share this platform together, this microphone, alongside with our panelists, will shortly be joining us on the show. So many things happening in Liberia. There are a lot of things happening. Look, politics is so strong. Look, that today, or that there are some times or some things you can know that this country we have a long way to go. We have a long way to go because there are people who put themselves in certain position that is, if it's not me, it cannot be you. That's how some people have just set up their life. If it cannot be them, it cannot be other people. They must be the one in charge. They must be the one so their name can go. They want all the glory. They want all the praises. That's just how people behave in this country. So politics has taken over this country, and you see it has taken over the country, and you cannot see no improvement in the country. That's the whole thing. Politics has taken over the country, and we cannot see no improvement in this country. The politics has taken over the country until people go gutter. People take things personal, the whole thing's in their hand. Even election in the Western world, you see the people go to election, and after the election and stuff, they see the poll election behind them. Whosoever that window that come out a winner, they put hands together to move the country forward, to push the country. But now in Liberia, the election will finish, the hits will still be there. That bad feeling, the gossip, and chewing booms and other stuff will still be there. It will live with them until the next election time. Can you imagine for you to keep that thing in for 6 years? 6 years before someone else will be free. Some people stay in the campaign mode. Now, as I'm speaking, some people stay in, some people won't run campaign. Now, just give them where they want to. The Western side, after this season, they put it behind them. They move ahead with their country to see how best they can put their country forward. But not especially Liberia. Liberia, the probably election finish. Some people stay in the election mode. Election not come. Some people praying for it to come. Some people just, they are just, I don't know, they just put themselves into a position where other people will, the fees that other people cannot get to them. Truth FM, we are here and we need to be here. One thing I tell people here, this station from the different locations from where we've been moving, we've been migrating on the came to Dopoh Road. We remain here and we remain independent. This is why I love doing it. I love how we run our activities here during election time. We give the platform to everybody. We do an open mic platform, whether you're whether you're ruling, whether you're from opposition or where, we do an open platform where everybody comes. Oh yeah, and this is why the man who owns the owner, the man who is in charge, who was in charge 40 in charge, participating in everything to the station, 40. As soon you tell him about, is this a president coming or this is a senator or lawmaker coming, the first thing he will do, he will give credit. He will say, that person a lawmaker, no. That man a president, so what you want to do? Give the person to go ahead. Because you know what it takes for that person to reach to that level. You don't disrespect people to follow. No. I mean, he doesn't disrespect people to follow. He say it openly. It's a lawmaker, he say, that person a lawmaker. Let's give them the go ahead. That person a president, let's give them. He open up and make his media house independent of everybody. And you know very well, people, during the election, you know the certain station, certain people will not go there. Certain people will not the state radio, you know that the ruling establishment will say opposition will not go there. There are some stations will be fully into maybe opposition or being the ruling, or they say we now want to give up here. It's not with the station. We cut across everybody who was doing their activities whatsoever, who made it open, they came here and for us it's done. And it's over and we're moving ahead. If the opposition would do their job, we talk about it. If the ruling establishment would do their job, we talk about it. So if you think that we will swallow it, then you're getting it wrong. Because we are here, the Liberian people looking up to the media, the watchdog. We're looking, the Liberian people focus onto the media. People at this time now do by the radio. They want to know what's happening. They want things that are happening across the country. So do you want us to sit down and say, oh boy, the thing will just sorry me. If we turn the other way, it'll be too bad for opposition. No. If we turn the other way, it'll be too bad for government. No. The people who we that are the people depending on, looking up to provide information to them, to give them the rightful information, to give them the truth information. They will sit down there and we should bury it only because of certain group of people who feels that, oh yeah, when they do this thing here, it will help us. That is bad. This session, it remains and it stands independent. We will continue to serve the land. Directly, we will continue to serve the Liberian people. It's a business house here. You don't want to do that business with us, they left with you. But this is a business house. Oh yeah. This is a business house. You know that business they left with you. But one thing I can tell you that this is not just an ordinary house. This station is not just one of the stations that just run ordinarily. When it comes to the coverage in this country, this station, Chief FM, people maybe you don't know or people never inform you today that this station we have that widest coverage. Do you know how far we reaches? Do you know how far we go? You know, I sometimes I look at government activities in the say Truth FM. This people don't reach out to this house here, to this media house. Say, I don't know what they're thinking on. But this should be one of the best stations you should be working with. We're not relaying people outside this country, outside or in other parts of this country. But we hit the 15 counties. We go as far as Sierra Leone, Africa, and Guinea. It just gave us the opportunity when we open all our part, all our equipment here. The people in Guinea will complain, say we disturbing it. People in Sierra Leone tell say we disturbing them. So this is not ordinary house here, ordinary radio station that people will see. This is a different station. So we will keep being independent. Have no fees about this station. We will keep being independent. People will come, whether you're from opposition side, you come, you lay your thing down to the Liberian people. The policy sense Israel, they listen to you. Whether you're from the union assignment, you can't return your thing. The day that the Liberian people hear the sense Israel, they listen to you. But you or anybody will not haul us to them and fees that maybe that thing they can do, they assume they say you're finished, you're gone. No, this is what we can what we can be iron here. We can throw the iron behind us, we can throw our equipment from here. When we can run ugly broadcast, we can do it. We'll never do it. Because we run ugly broadcast, we get our equipment. We can do it. So for that reason, we need independence because we know at the end of your 6th year, you're gone. At the end of your 6th year, you're gone. There are some people, as soon as 6 years, you're gone. They will go live outside or be abroad until that other time finish before they come back. That is bad. The people that was coming this country, when they come back, we give them position to government. You see, when the other 6 years on, as soon as 6 years finish, the people never go on. Through the 6 years finish, people who occupying certain position in causing problem. They know where they're causing problem. They know where they're creating serious problem that are not. So right after the 6 years, they leave me. They go on. So welcome to the program, and our panelists, all they come on the stream already. So welcome to closing argument. I'm getting set up on. Okay, my keyboard argument is already on the stream already. So welcome to the closing argument. Let me see what I'm putting on.
I'm on.
Welcome.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
You are on, though.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for all that you do. A lot of work. You could have been home with your family, but you are in the studio informing the Liberian people of current events. And it's a great thing, the work that you do. The country relies on you to bring the news independently, quietly at times, and vocally at times. But your job as a journalist is to be the fact finder, the finders of truth, no matter what the circumstances are, even if they hold gun to your head. Your job is to find the truth and report it as is. And that's why your profession is highly recognized around the world as the fifth estate or fourth estate. In my case, I would say the first estate, because where there is a breakdown of power from the judiciary to the executive, to the judiciary, executive, and the legislative bodies, if those three branches of the government breaks down, the only hope that the Liberian people have is the media, an independent media that will bring the news despite all relationships. It is the truth. You are finding the truth. And the truth will be your guide. And this is why I would call you the first estate, the number one that has been there before government, that have been there during government, and will be there after government. So you are stationary. People may not like you today because what you are saying does not suit their narrative. And tomorrow I may hate you when you start hating on me hard when your story does not fit my narrative. But your guide is the truth. Evidence-based. If you see black, it is black. If you see white, it is white. There is no gray area. This is what professional journalism is all about. Whether you are in position or opposition, this is what journalism is all about. Your job, like we say in Grand Bassa County, in our Latin word, turis lucis. It's a Latin word that says, you are the tower of light. Where there is darkness, you have to be the tower of light, the beacon of hope. Because we know in philosophy that darkness and light cannot coexist. Light, wherever light shows up, darkness disappears. So wherever you are telling the truth, where you are not biased, those that are on the wrong side of history will always disappear because you are the light. There may have been some friends and relatives that were on this journey with you. A few years ago, a few months ago, today, they have disappeared into the abyss of power and greed and money. So the truth will always stand as that tower of light. And it so happens to be the slogan of my alma mater, the Bassa High School in Grand Bassa County. When you go out there, you look on the building, you will see something called Turis Lucis. You are the tower of light. You are the beacon of hope. Wherever light shows up, darkness disappears. Light and darkness cannot coexist. Nowhere else has it ever happened, and nowhere will it ever happen. So Ansu and Henry in the studio, your profession that you have chosen doesn't pay the bill. It makes it very difficult to be in the right place at all times. But some of you do stand the test of time. The temptation of greed and money and being sold and bought on the cheap. But journalism still stands as that beacon of hope, that Turis Lucis, that tower of light. No matter what the darkness is, light will always overpower darkness. And some of you have lost your lives. Some of you have lost limbs. You have been maimed, disgraced, stripped naked. But yet you stand on the side of truth. And that, my friend, is the greatest tower you can climb. It's the brightest light you can have in darkness. When they see you, they will run like cockroaches because they thrive only in darkness, on the rocks, and they're hiding behind power. They're hiding behind wealth. They're hiding behind corruption. But the truth, squashed to the ground, will always rise. So when you stand on the side of truth, when you stand on the side of truth, as we say in our old Methodist hymn, anybody else that comes against you, against truth, you are standing on sinking sand. And the doctor is here. He's the preacher. He knows more about that scripture than I do. But it's an old hymn, all certain songs that we sing in the Methodist tradition, as also in the Baptist tradition. Just we say, any weapon formed against the righteous people of God will never prosper. Same thing. Right. Anybody that comes against the truth is standing on sinking sand, and they will sink. So, my friend, that's enough for the preaching. Let me pass it on to the man who is ordained by God to bring the message. You know, journalism and theology, they are cousins. The truth teller in the Bible have been maimed, they have been killed, they have been beheaded, but yet and still they preach the gospel, the fact, the truth. And then when you look at journalism, it's the same concept. They have stripped you guys naked. They have cut off your arms. They have beheaded some of you guys. They have done all of those things. Yet and still, the news is getting out. The truth is being told. Dr. Peabody, it's all yours.
Man, what an excellent introduction that you started off with. I kind of joined late, but I can see that you started off very, very excellent, talking about the truth being told, and how people have been persecuted, for the truth. People have suffered, to die, still suffering, only for the truth to be told. So, I mean, what a beautiful way to kick it out, Mr. Gibman. Maybe I will. I'm learning from you. I'm enjoying you and listening to you. But our guest will soon be coming. He was on. He went off. Thank you, Mr. Gibman, for really, really bringing us to this. Our special guest tonight is Sumo P. Moluba, Representative District Number 3, Montserrat County, member of the Minority Bloc, Republic of Liberia. We'll be talking about the negotiation on the Yellow Earth Moving Machine, $22 million USD loan from EcoBank, and the interference of the Supreme Court by the president of Liberia, Mr. Gilman. You read it. We listened to it. Some of the credible newspapers like Front Page Africa have carried it. That after the president did ask the Supreme Court to postpone the hearing. I mean, I don't understand that. I've never seen that happen in any culture before, where the executive and the Supreme Court are pretty much in bed. Let me say this. I never saw that in any country, saw that happening, but based on what I read from the Front Page Africa, it said that the president asked the Supreme Court to postpone their final stuff on the court. So that is a little scary. It's very scary for the rule of law in our country. It's heartbreaking. I don't know what's going to become of Liberia when it comes to law, and that's why we always fail on the rule of law. We always fail the Millennium Challenge when it comes to the rule of law. We fail many times. and we're feeling again. But I want to bring the guest on. He's been sitting in the back for a little bit. Representative Sumo Cully. Welcome, Mr. Cully. Welcome to the closing argument. It's good to have you here, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. It's a pleasure to be with you people.
May I ask how you doing and how's your family doing?
Oh, we are doing quite well, and especially the district, I think we are doing fine. Yeah.
Great, great. Welcome. Today I'm joined by one of our colleagues from all the way to Sunshine City, the nation college champion, the Gators of Florida, Mr. Jerome Gilman.
That's right.
From all the way to Florida, he's joining us from Florida, and he's gonna be here. So until the other guys will be joining us, but until they come, we're gonna be leading this whole stuff along with my friend and brother, Mr. Jerome Gilman from the Sunshine City of Florida. So Mr. Gilman will start. We'll begin with him first, but we'd like to give you the opportunity to start with give your opening statement, and then we'll go to Mr. Gilman. He will start with the first question and second question, and then we'll move on from there. But we'll give you the opportunity to just tell. I believe you've been here on the closing argument before, and yes. So just bring her up to date. The district you represent and introduce yourself, and then we'll go on. We'll get into the discussion.
All right. I'm Honorable Sumo Moma from Mosserado County. I'm from District 3, the commercial city of Mosserado, where we go about all the markets, like Red Light. We have the Ominga market, and it's a busy area. But then I'm from a very peaceful district, a district where the people believe in the implementation of project. They believe in the one who can represent them. And I went to school here in Liberia. I graduated from the Cottington Graduate School. I left from here, went to also university and got my master's. And both Cottington, I have one master from Cottington, master in public sector management, and I also Master of Science in Development Administration, and today I'm doing my PhD at the Californian Intercontinental University, and I'm blessed to be here today to discuss issues relevant to our country. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. We'd like to welcome you, and we're looking forward to a very fruitful discussion. But we'll also jump on Sue and Henry. They are in studio in Liberia. So to our listening audience, we'd like to welcome you guys, everybody that's watching. Welcome Ms. Miata Stera Herring, Catherine Gibson, Julie Ho, Asata Miller, Ivan Davis, and all the others who are watching. We'd like to welcome you on the closing argument. But we'll go to Mr. Gilman, and he will begin with the first question.
Great. Honorable Malba, thank you for coming on the closing argument. I know you mentioned your district covers the red light and all of those areas. We are looking at some demolition. We're looking at some event, and I think people in your district are not very kind to what's happening in the district. Is that your district I'm looking at, or am I putting this in the wrong district?
No, I think they tried doing the issue of demolition in my district, and I put stop to that because I went along, not just me, along with my people, because I think it was not necessary way to talk about opening alley. First of all, we have major route that the government needs to work on, and they are not working. But to get down to the various communities, and to tell the people that they are open outlet. If you are open outlet, you should be prepared to do the role. You can't just open outlet without putting in the pavement. So I put stop to that from my district. I think now they are in the roughly the Ominga area, which is in District 4, not from my side, and they are also in the Central Morovia doing their demolition, not just my district, because I put stop to that. I think it's not necessary. When you are willing to work, if you are willing to carry on development, you should be prepared not to just damage people's houses, especially the poor people where there is no job for them, and you damage that very home and you think that you are doing well for them. I think that is not necessary at this time. If you want to do that, you should be prepared. When you damage their home, you should be prepared to face the role so that people can see development, not just to just break houses without carrying on development. So I put stop to that within my district.
Great. When you're talking about the government just coming in and say they're open, have they ever met with you or the community to say this is going to be the reallocation or relocation packages to move people because they are doing it in mass? Where are these people supposed to move to? Are there any plans to alleviate the suffering of the folks? Because I saw some of the folks basically in the streets.
You're right. I think I met with Guinness when he came in to do his demolition, and I told him that it was not necessary because let me just give you one story. Because there was a poor lady who worked over time and got that land, and she built her house where she stayed. To just come and damage the entire property of the old lady, I think it was not, sometimes if you're doing that, government should be prepared to give a package that will at least relocate them. But just to come out and say, look, we damage your house without doing anything, I think for my district, I told them, no, it can work. If you are going to do that, it was really something very difficult to do because the police, they came along with police, roughly about 30 to 40 police, and they were just damaging houses. And I told them, I said, this time around, no, I will not allow you to go in. If you go in, then you will border with resistance, except where you will kill me to pass through this place to damage people's houses. So I was supported by the community, and people came out in their number to say that we're not allowed this to happen. So they left my community, went out to other communities. So with the issue of Guinea and myself, we've been discussing, because if the government want to do that, it's a brilliant thing to open alley to at least beautify our rural communities. But if you are doing that, it should be in line with development. You can't just damage people's house, then afterward you can see any development, you can see anything happening just because they want to open alley. I think I'm against that. If government wants to open alley, they should be prepared. I think they are not prepared yet. Yeah.
Great. Honorable Peabody, there you go. You are muted.
Welcome, Mr. Nyenwolo. Welcome, and good to see you. Another edition of the closing argument. Can you guys hear me? Yeah, great.
Thank you, Dr. Peabody. Yes, I can hear. Thank you very much. It's good to be here, Jerome. Honorable, thank you for coming. Welcome.
Thank you.
Yes, we have with us the representative for District Number 3, Honorable Somo Kali Moluba. He's joining us today. He's part of the minority bloc, and he's representing the group that is representing us today. Well, Honorable Kali, let's get into this conversation. I mean, let me just follow up on the question that Mr. Goodman asked you. I mean, you said that you spoke with the public work minister and they are demobilizing a lot of homes in your district. But if they were encroaching on those land, do you think government still have to give them some kind of compensation if they were encroaching on those land?
I think the thing is that is very difficult to deal with because although government is the one that have absolute control over land and whatsoever, but I think people have their deeds and they were land that were paid for and it went through the government. So if they have legitimate deed, there should be a process that will compensate them to make sure that if I'm using this place for an alley, government have to come in. Because let's take, for instance, the lady I'm talking about, they came directly in the middle of the lady house, very poor lady. Over the time, she pay her money, got the land, and she been living there. She lived there for almost 28 years. So government came to say, like, we need to open this alley. So government, how can you open the alley? Are you prepared to open this alley? When you are prepared, then definitely we give you the go ahead to open the alley, because that's development. But when you are not prepared, you want to go in there to damage houses. And at the end of the day, you cannot do anything on the road. There's no need to damage the house. When you are prepared, you come in to do your role. So I think it will go along with trying to compensate people to make sure, because if I have a property and I'm the owner, government have no right. They have to negotiate. So I think they should have a roundtable discussion with people that own land if you want to open alley. But maybe it work in other areas, but for district number 3, the people of district number 3, we work together in our number. We're not allow anyone. If it is a major alley, we will allow it. But when it's an alley where you have property, people have their deeds, they make it more difficult. You have to negotiate to find out whether you can do some compensation to them so that they can give you the go ahead. But without that, no, the people of district number 3 will not allow it. Yeah.
All right. My second question, Honorable, is in regards to I'm sure you have been following the news, or you guys have discussed it, if the renegotiation of this yellow earth machine, moving machine, that the government said they were going to get $22 million loan from EcoBank to say that it's a significant decrease, from the previous amount. Are you guys aware of this? Were you guys briefed on this discussion?
Okay, well, this is one of the major issue, national issue that most often our people try to overlook. I think it's something that we all need to pay attention to, because I remember it was like 2 months back, I was with you on this identical show when I told you about the yellow machine saga, where the government make some reference of $80 million towards 285 F machine. And I said that no, that's not true. And I not just on your show, I went on other shows, social media platform to discuss this. We have to be honest with our people, especially for us lawmaker, because we should be the one, because there is no one to have that oversight. The oversight authority is bounding to us. So as lawmaker, we need to make sure that things that are not right, we should try by all means to make it right. So with the issue of the machine, the Sana machine from Heizan province in China, we discussed this with our leadership at the House, where at the time Honorable Kofa was the speaker. Then we had Deputy Speaker Honorable Fala. I told them in the leadership meeting that I have some authority, because most of the Chinese company you see here in Liberia, I brought them in, and we have some partnership with them. And whatsoever that is in China that you talk about, machine, equipment, whatsoever, I have a lot of knowledge on that. So when it came out with the figure, 80 million, I felt that it was so huge, and it was not the right thing to do for 285 machine when I did the calculation, because you can't tell me, say, you would pay 180,000 for a machine, maybe the excavator. It make no sense. So I think it was necessary that I believe that the price was so huge. Even the FOB price was very huge. So they needed to have come down. But there was a range that I was looking at based on my own analysis with the sale of the machine. So I was looking at the range of $40 million, at least for the 285 F moving machine. But then what surprised me, just 3 weeks ago, for the government to come out to talk about the vice president is negotiating with the group that have to do with the machine. And also he's also negotiating with EcoBank. It just surprised me, because what I had observed, this government is not a government of law. This government is not a government that follows the rule of law. So with the rule of law, we have 3 areas that we need to look at as government, because the executive branch has no right to go about purchasing. within a huge amount, the executives say have no right to go about negotiating for loan from EcoBank because there are procedures, both domestic and foreign loan. So one of the procedures is seen in our Constitution, Article 34 of our Constitution. And Article 34 spells out the authority, the power that is invested in the House of Legislature, not the executive. So when you look at Article 34(d)(I), which is the first portion of the article, it tells you that the legislature, the representative, House of Representatives, have the power to go about the negotiation of loans, right? And they have the right to approve whatsoever loan that will be discussed, whether foreign or domestic. So there are thresholds set for the government. And I think the threshold, 80 million, 22 million is very high. So it falls within the range of the House of Representatives. Then we look at another aspect of the PPCA, the Public Procurement Concession Act of 2010. When you look at the Public Procurement Concession Act of 2010, look at the first section of it, which is Part 1. Part 1 gives you outline those ways in which you can apply. There is a bidding process. But the government is not going with that. So before you get a loan, before you negotiate, there should be a bidding process. That's the procurement law. This law was set aside not just for the executive branch, but it go down to the judiciary, it also go down to the House of Legislature. So when you bypass that, you are going against the law. Then we also look at the Public Financial Management Act of 2009. Part 5 outline the authority of gathering loan, both domestic and foreign. The authority is with the House of Representatives, not the executive. So I was a bit confused, even to the extent to talk about our vice president going to negotiate. Then when we spoke that there was a fraudulent act, we need to be careful as Liberian. The machine is good. We need the machine to open all of our rules, to have a better rules. But then the how part of it, how are we getting this machine? It is genuine. That's one aspect of it I wish that they could explain. But then the president came out to tell us that this thing is a negotiation from his old friend. So one of the things I experienced from that is conflict of interest. And he, one of those persons that speak about the Andrew Man, conflict of interest, we should be very careful of that. So, boil down this few days, they talk about $22 million. $22 million, fine, it's a low amount. But my issue here is this: $22 million for 285 F moving machine. It makes no sense. That's not true. What I feel from him is that people are using this. So just look at the instant. Who negotiating this amount? Who reduced this amount? This vice president. So the vice president is negotiating, and you have the public work minister. So what comes into play is durability and quality of those machines. Let's put aside the politics. Because one thing I'm just gathering is that because of the politics, people are playing this game for 2029 so that the vice president can have a play fee for 2029. And I think it makes no sense. And I always tell people, my analysis is not about CDC. My analysis is not about Unity Party, leader, the Liberty Party, or whatsoever party. My analysis in the interest of the Liberian people. We need to be careful how we go about with loan. So the issue of the loan, the House is not part of it. The House of Representatives is not part of it. The one have the authority It's not part of it. So how are you going about the payment of this loan? How can you explain to the Liberian people when there are laws set aside that we all should go along with? So if the law cannot govern us, then there is an issue with democracy. There is an issue with democracy. So the issue of the yellow machine, I think I smell something that is not good. I can say this to the Liberian people. I smell something that is not good. Not just on this platform I'm saying it. I said that on other platform. I smell something that is not good. When you say $22 million, yeah, EcoBank will pay the money, we will reform the money, but we have the machine. What is the durability of the machine? The quality of the machine? Because some machines have grade. Let me just say that. In China, we have machines that have grade, like the phone, even the electronics. If you want $1 electronic, $200 electronic, you get it. When you want the advanced electronic, you get it. Let's take, for example, phone. They have 200 phone, 300 phone, 400. That's just how the machine works. You have $10,000 machine, you have $50,000 machine, you have $100,000 machine. So it depends. So we need to be very careful. It won't offer well to spend that huge money without a proper documentation. The machine come in, and tomorrow, after 6 months, then there is no machine. Even the maintenance of the machine, there's no way to maintain the machine. Then our people begin to cry. The next thing we see, we blame the lawmaker. They were there. They have oversight responsibility. So this is the reason for the issue of the yellow machine. We need to be very careful. For me, I would say the person is old. Despite being with all of those experience, when you old, you cannot work efficiently as compared to when you were young. So there are a lot of people around the president that I feel they are not in the interest of the president. They are there to get what they can get. It's not about the Liberian people, what I can get, so that after 6 years, I can start a business. That's the mentality of our people, which is wrong. Our interest should be the interest of our people. And I feel that the issue of the yellow machine is troublesome. It's not something that the Liberian people should celebrate. If anyone wants to open this argument, I'm willing to appear on the show. And we will expound the argument with the Constitution, with the PMF law, the PPCA law of 2010, the I. Then we get down to the analysis from China, the market, and we look at what the Sana Group have to offer, or what they are offering to us. What is in line with what we think will last long for our people to use for 3-4 years, or whether we have a machine that will just go for 6 months and just to make the name that we did this, we brought in machine. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative. I'll come back to you about other questions, but let's go to Mr. Nambe for his 2 questions.
Thank you, Dr. Peabody. Honorable, welcome. It's good to have you. Let me ask you this before my other question. I heard you in your intro. You went to Cottonton Graduate School.
Yeah, Cottonton Graduate School.
Okay, so let me be on record as welcoming a fellow Scorpion to the set. It's good to have you.
Thank you. You're right.
We're not talking about Florida Gators here, my young man. Jerome, relax. Relax your shoulders. But listen, let me ask you this. I understand your concerns over the arrangements for the yellow machines, as all of us are. You know, obviously seems to be violating the PPCC Concession Act that you described. I think that is a fact. But doesn't the president of the Republic of Liberia have the authority to go out and negotiate loans and then bring them to the legislature to ratify them before they become law? Doesn't the president have the right to do that?
Yeah, the president have the right to do so, but not the vice president to go to be sent as the negotiator. It's so strange. You cannot have your vice president going out to negotiate loans. That's financial issue. So what become of the finance minister? Then when we talk about the quality and efficiency of the machine, so who go about that? That should be the public work minister. So if you don't trust your public work minister, if you don't trust your finance minister, then you look for someone else to do the job, not the vice
But
president.
I thought this power is vested in the executive. Doesn't the president have a right to designate anyone to negotiate on his behalf?
So with the executive, we have line ministry. You have almost 21 line ministry. You could designate anyone from there to do the job, not the president going out to negotiate. So
Okay.
you as the president, you cannot go. Or sometimes people negotiate as president, right? But I think it makes no sense for a vice president to go out and negotiate when you have your public work minister. So what's the idea you have on equipment? So how can you determine whether the equipment is efficient, whether the equipment is durable? Because I'm not hearing the public work minister name. I'm not hearing Guinness name. I'm not even hearing the finance minister name. So that's financial issue. When you are negotiating, you need somebody with financial knowledge, not the vice president to go and negotiate. You can reduce your vice president to that level. I feel they are reducing the vice president, and they need to take, I don't know, but they need to be very smart on that. Yeah.
So thank you very much for the clarification. Let me ask you then, are you going to be on record as calling for an investigation and probably hearing into this conduct, especially so that the Minister of State with our portfolio, who I think originated all this brouhaha, which started at around $79-80 million, as you indicated, which we're not hearing is down to 22 million. And yet, I was just reading she's in South Africa already, as we speak, negotiating again on behalf of the government. Doesn't it concern, or is that going to be brought up later? Why is she not being called for hearing by the House? Either you
So
guys or
let me say this. I think remember there's a crisis at the House. You have the minority bloc
okay,
and you have the majority bloc.
okay,
So when the minority was in leadership, but now there should have been some investigation going on. But you have a majority bloc where the speaker claimed to be a speaker of the regime. So it become more difficult to bypass the negotiation, a wholesome negotiation, a negotiation where the president is aware, a negotiation where the vice president is aware, a negotiation that will not push for investigation because everybody aware of what's happening. So you have the Ministry of State now in South Africa, as you said, negotiating. So it tells you that something that is an agreement between everyone, every party. So you and I have anything coming from there when you have people, especially the quote unquote majority bloc that you have now. So, but we, as an independent group, as an independent lawmaker, we will get out, inform our people on things that are happening, and a call for no celebration. This thing call for no celebration. A call for an investigation. Let us investigate. But we are tired of people eating our people money, the country money, country that we all should benefit from. But you just have the elite, certain group just enjoying. This is why some of us came here. It's not about money. I always tell people, it's about exposing the ills that is in government. It's the reason I'm here. So whether the president agreed to what or agreed to investigate, or he decided not to investigate, we will expose the ill. And people will get to know everyone by their doing. Yeah.
Thank you very much. I know you're a freshman senator, and I'll pass you on the room after this. And besides the coincidence of you and I being Scorpions, I also live in Dopoh. That's where I lived up to I came, up to coming to the States. I believe that's the area you cover. Am I correct?
No, I'm not from Dopoh. Dopoh is Honorable Marco Thomas, District 4. I'm from the red line, Ominga, Nizo, going towards Jakarta.
Gotcha.
The Quet line, that's where I'm from. Yeah.
Okay. So then and thanks for the correction. Let me ask you this. I was reading up on you here. What is the relationship now between you and the young people in your district? I understand there was a little bit of tension there. when you appeared, I think back in January or so, or July.
No,
I'm not sure which day.
no, don't believe that.
Uh,
There is no.
yes, where
Yeah.
apparently you made some very unflattering remarks about the young people and they threatened to sue you. Tell me, what is the relationship like now between you and the young people who you represent in that district? You yourself being a young person,
You're
if I
right.
may
So
if
yeah,
I may say so.
you're right. So here's the issue with the young people. This is most of the this is what I always tell people. I came from a noble family, very poor family where we believe in helping other people. And when I took the office, there were things that I saw as the representative sitting in that seat, and we observed that people, lawmakers that from the past did extremely well. Some of them tried to do their best, but there are people who tried to bring them down. And they were all part of the DDC, they were all part of the elder council. You cannot have, according to the constitution, you can have someone for 28 years. Why would you keep them? So when I came in, I thought it was to do a spot check and to do auditing with all of our stakeholders, those from the local government. So we did that, and it caused some commotion. Oh, why did the lawmaker go about spot check? I think it's in the interest of us. And I was not just bad about the entire district, the people of the district, the citizens of the district, just few people. So the issue of the youth, we have one. I just appointed one person who is the head of the youth, and what I believe in is honesty. So this young man had a conversation with Honorable Kofa, the then speaker, and I think he gave the amount of $500 to be used for the young people, and this amount was used then by the one appointed. So I think it showed no sign of honesty. So I tried to lower the rapport with this person to that of my seat. So with the young people, there was a word that I said, I think it was not bad because I planted 170 solar lights everywhere, the various streets, so that we can have light and the issue of stealing and other things can minimize. But then when I use the word saying that the young people are taking down the light, those unfortunate young people, these people who feel that they take drugs, they take down the light to buy drugs. I think it's not necessary. We need to stop. So they took it as an issue because remember, I'm a young man among all of the older people. We're 22 during the election. So I have one against 21. So 21 of them, we have people who join us. 10 of them join us. So the remaining 11, they were not part of our discussion. They were never part of our Thanksgiving ceremony. So the remaining 11 set aside to discourage other people with those projects I'm doing in the district. So just imagine, first of a kind, for a lawmaker to put for a bill and the House, both houses concurred, it was approved by the president, the War and Economic Crime Code bill, the first of a kind edition number 3. No one have ever put for a bill, but I did that. So that alone, according to lawmaking, support my agenda. For a lawmaker, first of a kind here, first year, to build a technical college, to build, to take care of the rules, the various rules, to even help to build market that were normal. So people think that this young man will stay for another year. So because of the noise going all around in the district, some saying 12-term lawmaker, 12-year lawmaker, some saying 18-year lawmaker. Other young guys feel that those that have just small job, they feel that we also can be lawmaker. The young man can be lawmaker, we can be lawmaker. But to be a lawmaker, there are a lot of things we pass through. So if they are willing to go through that, I'm telling them, every one of them, bear patient. We have just a little time, 5 years more, less than 4 years, 4.5 years. 2029 will come. If you feel you're strong, no need to go on the social media to use words, jargons against us. Just get prepared for 2029. We get into the race. When you beat me, I will tell you congratulations. Yeah, that's it.
Mr. Gilman.
Thank you very much.
Yes. Honorable, you are from the House.
You're right.
You just spoke about the yellow machines
Yeah.
The initial price from Mamaka Ability was 79, almost $80 million.
You're right.
From $80 million to $22 million, that's a difference of $57 million that would have gone into somebody's pocket. That is a crime. What are you doing, or what is the House doing to bring these people for hearing and investigation? This is massive.
So this is how it works. You see, there is a game that many may not understand. The first thing is that to get this transaction done, there should be a process. There's a legal procedure, and according to Article 34, is done through the House of Legislature. So the House of Legislature, the wing of the House of Representatives, have the full weight to introduce a bill for this transaction. But then, with that, they haven't the process. So they bypass the process, and there is no way at this time you can have Mama's ability into the process, into this. Because the thing is that, what is the evidence?
Pewee, you cut the man off?
Yeah, Pewee came in, just kick the man off.
You are
muted. Liberia, we know about the internet.
That man, I'm a comrade. I can't cut him off.
But you just did. You came on, the man dropped.
No, man, at the big man, at the honorable man, I can't call that man off.
He's coming back. I think he's coming right back.
I can't call him up. I call him
out. I
mean, if I did that,
he's right back.
If I do that, he will use Article 44 on me to hold me in contempt.
That's right. That's right. We in region 44. We're down to 33. So we're coming up there.
I don't want to comrade to hold me in contempt. No, I don't want to.
You're right. No, I won't hold you in contempt.
I don't know what you doing.
No, I'm fine. Did not work because I'm a distant way from you guys. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So we were talking about the difference from 80 million, 79 point something million to 22 million, the difference of $57 million. I don't want to say in any serious country because we are an independent state and we exist under the rule of law.
You're right.
If such thing has happened in at least where we are, it will be major investigation. If possible, charges brought up against somebody. That is a difference of $57 million.
You're right. So this is the reason I'm saying it makes it more difficult. It's so complex because the thing here is this. You have the court. You have the court. I don't want to drag this into another thing. You have the court, the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court have the power to interpret. We have an issue with minority and majority. So the majority is the regime majority. The majority is the regime majority. And they take care of the agenda during session. So how can you bring this on the floor when you have a regime majority? So what we expect now for the court to do, and I think it's bounding on the court, where we can have the thing we call check and balance. So in order to have check and balance, no interference, the court needs to come out. If the court come out, trust me, when the court come out with her ruling that we are getting signal of, that the minority bloc, the minority bloc is right, the majority is wrong, right? They need to follow the course of actions, right? The procedures. Then we can have the strength to speak and to fight for our people. But without that, we'll just be an individual fighting. I'm one person. I will talk of all of the ills, but then you have roughly 49 to 45 people who doing session when there is a vote. There was an issue when they talk about the issue of having an internal auditor, right? An internal auditor to audit the House of Legislature. of the House of Representatives. And I said, no, it makes no sense because we are the crafter of bills, and we are pushing what belongs to us. So how can we audit ourselves? We already have an anti-graft institution that could be used. You have the GAC. Why can you use the GAC? Right? You have the IAA, the internal audit. Why can you use the internal audit to audit you? Because the thing is that you are corrupt. So there is something I'm afraid of, budget sharing. If you want to share the budget, then you have people, your own people, to audit yourself. When they audit you, they say, okay, no, there is nothing wrong, right? Then the Liberian people believe there is nothing wrong. But the horse is very dirty. The hub is one place that corruption is going on so high. And this is some of the things we've been speaking against. But we're blessed that we are part of the minority bloc. We are with the action of the court. But then we hear, because this is what frustrates us, to hear the court saying that the president is in between the line, the president calls us, blah, 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 blah. That's interfering. I don't care how people place it. That's interfering. The court have the right to interpret. When it comes to ruling, the president cannot come in between. These are some of the things we look at. Some of the things that we are very, I'm afraid of. That even the issue of the machine, who are you going to call, and where are they going to go for investigation? The regime majority. It makes no sense. It makes no sense. Yeah.
Mr. Pewee.
Yes. So I don't know if we have a particular. I'm just joining. I don't know if we have a particular topic we're looking into today.
Well, we have the honorable from district number 3 is here.
I know.
And we have had a lot of discussion, a lot of uncertainties about the House and the rulings or the purported ruling and all that. So a plethora of things that he's here to address. He began with the yellow machines. He began with the opening of alleys, the demolition of properties in his districts. And why he has no issue with that, he has problem with the process. Most of the people were not, there were no resettlement, there were no information given to them. People just came and were bringing down homes, and he stood for his folks. That he's all for development, but he would prefer that the government uses a process where we can relocate some of the folks, especially the people who have legitimate deeds. The government signed these deeds into, basically when you buy the land, the government approved that the land is yours and you pay your taxes and everything else. For the government to break down those properties, they have to have either compensation or a process. We talk about eminent domain. You know about the eminent domain. If there's an eminent domain, the government has to compensate you with fair market value. And this is where we are.
Yeah, fair enough. I think, and let me actually commend Honorable Monoba for his stewardship. Actually, let me say, open it to this process. Thank you for your service. I think the people of District Number 3 got a kind of representation that is fair enough in terms of always being responsive to their call, if you will. I think it's a very good thing, and District Number 3 is a very dedicated district. We spent a lot of time, grew up in the community, and the rest of that. So I think that for now, let me say thank you to him for his service. But that's a very important aspect, that the issue of the eminent domain and other legislative matter. In recent time, even one of his district. One of his constituents, my information is that down on some mysterious circumstances, I'm told he's also running after that at one of the police stations, I think zone 8 or so, and I want to find out how far the honorable went on with that also. But let me come up to open it. Say here that this process about the eminent domain thing, and there's most part of even the Painesville and that of the Wookam area almost hitting around the red light gas. Some areas I was told that there's a serious problem also about folks that didn't get proper deed, and I wanted the honorable to also look into and speak to all about that. Now, my concern also we have to do with asking the honorable as to because I didn't, John, sorry if he already talked about that. This situation is currently unfolding in the House. We saw, I know the Honorable before now, when he appeared on the show the last time, he was clear that he was on the speaker side. And I want to know, as current, what his perspective on the pending bit of information that's expected to be out soon. We don't know when. And we saw, is he still on? Does the Honorable recognize Mr. Kofa as the legitimate speaker, or Mr. Kuhn as the leader of the other side? So I just wanted him to speak to that in the meantime while we move on to the process. But the eminent domain issue is very key. And people, when government is exercising the element of eminent domain, it is emphatically clear that the government will have to take some responsibility also. The government do own the land. The government own what is in the ground on the land itself, but there's other responsibility thereof that we expect the government to take when they are exercising the process of eminent domain and all that. And the due notice that will have to be given to those that are resident or using the particular area of government. I think the Honorable left.
The internet.
So
the internet issue.
So, but it's a very important issue there, and I think I like the progressive way he's trying to engage the representation of the people. I think it's very important. And I would love the Honorable also to speak to this issue. I've been seeing on the social media about the Soakliner Junction going in. Where's that pavement headed? Is that pavement going to hit the Zubatan Dopoh Road? Is it going to cross? Is that pavement going to cross and it's going to connect a bridge towards Zubatan? I just thought to ask if the Honorable to also comment on that when he reconnected. So, but a lot of important things. I don't know if any of my question, or my comment, a question I asked, if he ever addressed it, then if not, then I will be very pleased to have him comment on those. And as we move on.
Yeah, Mr. Namwe, I mean, the internet issue in Liberia is terrible, But you listen to his representation about what he know. Okay, there he goes. Honorable, were you able to understand or hear the questions from Mr. Pewee?
No, I wish he summarized that quickly so that I can.
Okay.
Yeah, I was basically asking. I first commented you on the issue. I know you got that, but I was basically asking you about the current unfolding saga of fracas in the House of Representatives. Which side do you recognize? Do you still recognize Mr. Kofa, Councillor Kofa, as the legitimate speaker, or do you recognize the Cone bloc? This one I said to you. And what is your own anticipation from the Supreme Court? We hearing that the Supreme Court may act any time from now, but we don't know exactly when the court is going to act. And the last question I was asking, we've been observing of recent pavement, asphalt pavement from the Soakliner Junction. I don't know if it's true. Is it from Soakliner Junction going into Soakliner and towards this Dopoh Road? Is that connection hitting Dopoh Road Zubatan? I just thought we wanted to understand the detail of that pavement, if it is true.
All right. Let me start first of all with the issue of whether I'm from the minority or from the majority bloc. I'm one person that I really don't give credence to the intent where we have majority or minority. And I'm from the district. The people of district number 3 believe that I should be able to work. And, because I'm there in the interest of the people when I'm absent, there are things that will be said that maybe against the district or maybe against our constituents that I may not be part of. So I have to be in attendance every time that they have session. So I'm part of, to make it clear, I'm with the majority bloc because I believe in the rule of law. That's what they stand for. Anything beyond the rule of law, I'm not part of any other bloc, but I'm part of the rule of law. And with the rule of law, I have been there during session. There have been so many sessions I've attended under the presiding.
Oh. Well, he's member of the minority bloc, so who knows?
I don't want brother bylaw or the good law. Which one?
No, you're the majority bloc. You're left blocking everything. I think Honorable Tomalin George just released the headline for the day. Chief Justice C.I.
But what happened to the honorable I was speaking?
He will come back.
He will come back. But the headline today will be the Chief Justice you have released a legal assignment for the May and June terms of court affecting the 2nd, 3rd, 11th, 14th, and 15th Judicial Circuit Courts, as well as criminal courts B, C, and D. The Environmental Protection Agency announces planned demolition of properties along wetlands, all wetlands, in Monserrado beginning April 16, 2025. Fined Home to Mining Company $40,000 for non-compliance with environmental laws. And 3, Information Minister Jerelimic Pierre blasts those politicizing the procurement of 285 yellow machines to address the development needs of the country. Says the government remains committed to delivering on its promise no matter what people say. So those are the major headlines. I know he has addressed most of those things, but Honorable, we are hoping that your internet will hold. Why? For some reason, every time Pewee, before I mention your name, the man goes Pewee, you got to get off here so this man can stay. But ladies and gentlemen, those are the major.
You talking about me go on today.
These are the headlines that were just sent out. What do you, Pewee? Let me start with you. What do you make of the Chief Justice? We are thinking about the ruling of the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court put out something today releasing her legal assignment.
Yes, that's routine, and it's routine. It's in keeping with the Chief Justice's own statutory responsibility. So that is a routine process. So that's a legal assignment. Chief Justice got the right to rotate judges of the Sacred Court, and the rest of that and across. And also we have judges that should be deployed in different areas and that. So it's the prerogative of the Chief Justice to do that, as it is the prerogative of the President to appoint in Article 54, and those he appoints serve at his will and pleasure. But the Chief Justice does not dismiss judges, but she does, he or she does got the proclivity or the right to do legal assignments in those areas and the rest of that. So you have judges will be rotated, some will be retained to their usual sacred court of the rest of that. There was an issue before in the country when certain judges at certain time that was perceived to not be in line with the Chief Justice. They would send some of them in a very far remote area. In some cases they didn't want to take assignment and the rest of that, but it is within. It's like in the military, you have to be well regimented in the military. You have to be prepared to take assignment, and you have to be routinely. And there's a basic line of being rotated, right? In every time, because in the military is the rule that you cannot keep on one assignment. There's have to be the baseline of rotation so that you cannot get use a particular area that is tantamount you being consumed or diluted or being tempered with, if you will. So it's the same in the sacred court or in the judicial system. So the Chief Justice will time to time issue her this, I think this which period it in, but that's the assignment she just issued. We'll get to a certain portion of the time, and then that's going to be unfolding time to time. It's a routine process. It's not strange. It's not political. There's nothing motivating it. It's the due process of law.
Honorable Nangwe, we are talking about the Liberian judicial system. We're talking about the Supreme Court. There's a big elephant in the room. The biggest elephant. Yesterday we were on here, and Pewee, myself, everybody, we agree that it has been enough time. The Supreme Court should let us know what is happening by even telling us, listen, this is our schedule. We will be ruling next month, 2 months from now. But they left it blank, and everybody is filling in the gap. And when everybody saw the Supreme Court send out a schedule, everybody thought that at least they would address the elephant in the room. But instead, it's like Mr. Pewee said, this is just routine stuff. This is routine. This is what they do. This is,
No, it is routine.
I know. We had it. The Supreme Court hiding behind what you said.
It's not any diversionary tactic.
I didn't say that. I'm just saying.
This is no
we didn't address the elephant. What's going on here?
But this delay them from acting anyway.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think Sylvester is right. I think also should tell us. I think they're done with this case. I think I think they've closed it out. I think very soon they will set a date to announce, their clarification on the bill information. But yeah, I agree with Sylvester. This is, a normal routine thing. I think the Chief Justice has to assign the judges. I think around this time, I don't know if this is really newsworthy. It will depend if there's any brouhaha over the selection of the judges that she's assigning. I don't know if it means a lot. But I think I agree with Sylvester. It's just a normal function of the Supreme Court Chief Justice to do this around this time, to post judges around the country. So I don't really see much ado over that. But the wetlands, I think this is overdue. We all see all the flooding that's occurring in and around Monrovia. You hardly see that kind of flooding in places like Kakata, or say, I don't know much about Buchanan, but Monrovia people have the tendency of building, in the waterways, over drainages. And I think it's causing a lot of problems. But again, like the senator who was on was indicating to us about the problem with the digging that's happening in the southeast. Usually these problems are caused by the very big people, the so-called big shots. Because, not many of the common people, can afford to build houses. So it is always, the what to do, the well-off people who usually muddy the water for us. So I see there is a hefty fine that is being, imposed. Yes, say $40,000. I guess this is an institution that may have, fallen foul of this regulation. So we'll have to see. But I think this is something that is really worth pursuing. The EPA, I think they're onto something good. I hope they will continue that so that they can clear up some of these waterways and let the water flow freely, because you've seen the kind of flooding that is happening. I mean, the one that happened recently around the city hall. I've never seen that kind of water in Monrovia in my lifetime. Yes, global, climate changes and all of that, I get it. But we could help the situation ourselves by also, freeing up some of the passageway for the water to flow freely. I think this is a good thing, so I will encourage them to pursue that. The justice, the information minister, if anybody's politicizing this yellow machine thing, I think they have been politicizing it. I mean, how much, how many different moving legs have, this yellow machine saga not developed? They paraded the street with the yellow machine. They almost declared a holiday when the first batch arrived in Monrovia. They called the entire country's attention when the minister made a presentation at the presidential retreat under the nose of the president. The president himself was so impressed. I hardly see the president laugh publicly, but I think I saw the president laugh publicly that time, which I think indicated he was very happy. But here we are. Over a year has gone by, and we're still talking about it. All we're trying to do is understand what it is they're doing. Nobody's politicizing it. So he is the information minister. He should be telling us and explaining to us what is happening. But, we don't get much information. All we get is, this reduction and that reduction, which is not really much. We don't even know. I was indicating that one of my friends was texting me the last time we were talking about this. We don't even know if these machines are pre-owned, if they are refurbished. We don't know that because we don't have that much information on these things. So I'm happy that the honorable is back and he's here. They are taking interest in this. Honorable, when you're speaking, I think you misspoke when you said you belong to the majority bloc. Oh, he's gone back again. Because I see people are writing in the comments here. I know you say you represent the rule of law, which really is what the minority bloc represents. So I believe you want to make that clarification. But I'll pass it back to you. And Ms. Dopoh, welcome to the set.
Yeah, Ms. Dopoh. I mean, these people here, there's something in English. I guess we did it in elementary school called context clue. Okay, if I tell you I was born in Maryland County, I live in Maryland County, Buchanan, you know I'm from Maryland County. Buchanan is not, so it's a slip of a tongue. So people the nitpicking. Welcome, Sarah. Let's talk about. I wanted to correct maybe a little bit of information on with Mr. Nyenwolo. You said you have not seen the president smile. That's broadly doing when they announced the yellow machine in cabinet. But recently I saw the president at an event where there was a dance going on and the president was laughing.
I was just telling my wife that you were going to talk about that. I know you, Jerry.
Maybe you can show the video so I want to see that.
No, without showing the video, a word, what is it? A word is better than 1,000, whatever that is. But Mazat, welcome the president we are talking about. Let's talk about the EPA. We are all Liberians and we love our country. We want to see development. For those that have been building in the wetland, I don't care which party you belong to, where you are from, I think we should support the EPA. If the EPA is serious about this, and this is not one of those headline catching things, and they are ready, I think we should support them. They need to demolish no matter who the culprit is. Now, I'm concerned they are talking about this Chinese mining company that is destroying the wetland. They find them only $45,000. Miss Dopoh, Mrs. Dopoh, is it Mrs. or Miss?
Miss.
Oh, Miss Dopoh, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, whatever it is that people are doing that will, bring our country, on the map and make our people live comfortably, I think it's okay. But nowadays in our country with this toxic politics that we have, people politicize everything. They might have a good idea. They might have good interest in, doing what is right for our people. But at the end of the day, sometimes it's just showmanship. So we don't really know, what is what until we can see it for ourselves, until it can come to fruition. Our doubts are still out there because people just play politics with everything just to score political points. That's all I have to say on that. If they are serious for business, we'll see it at the end of the day. But they have said a lot of things sometimes in the past and it doesn't come to pass. So, I hope it's just not another political stunt. I hope they really mean business.
Mr. Nyenwolo, to Ms. Dopoh's point, you saw the political advisor to the president, Madam Madala Cooper, with the buses in front of the executive mansion, they're taking photos, and Liberia will never be the same, and all that, and people were clapping. Buses are coming, transportation will be eased, and then it turned out it was just another headline grabbing. We saw the scholarship from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. People were going abroad to be educated, and then we found out that also didn't pan out. So as great as this sign, and I know I'm the first to say we should support the EPA, do you think they really mean this, or the public has a point for being skeptical?
Well, I mean, people are generally skeptical about government, and probably more so about the Liberian government than most governments we know. And I think for very good measure, this government has gotten off to a very ridiculous, amount of fits and starts, and in some instances, even going in the wrong direction. Um, the some of the instances you just enumerated, uh, and yet, we have not heard of any consequences. Talk about the scholarship scheme in the vice president in the first lady's own office. I think the gentleman was made to whatever it is restitute the money and then go back to work and all of that. So that is that. Then the way the government rolls out these programs, I mean, where is the asset recovery? Big hulu bala over the asset recovery. Where are we? And we're hearing the truth and the war and economics crime code right now is broke. They can't move. So there are many programs I think the government intends to, with good intentions, tries to roll out. But it brings to question, how much planning, how much thought goes into these things. Are they just in a hurry, to make the media, in a hurry to take credit? I mean, you remember the president's visit to the China Africa Summit. The president had even highly lended when Mo Ali and others were advertising the president, billions and billions of dollars. And then the oil refinery and all of that. And where are all these proclamations? So when people are expressing skepticism about this government's pronouncement, I think I'm at a level now where I am, I will believe it when I see it. And that's the attitude I'm adopting. I think many people have arrived at that level because it can't take that long for anybody to figure anything out. It's taking this government over 12 months. And even yet, they still can't seem to get it right. So yeah, I am not going to challenge anybody's skepticism about this government because I think they themselves they are playing into the hands of the skeptics. I'll give it back to you.
Mr. Pewee. Mr. Pewee. Okay, I guess he's on with his sources. Ms. Dopoh, my own sister here, who is a thinker, Stella, is saying why it is a good thing for the EPA to break down some of these areas. It should begin with public awareness, public education. It's a process. We shouldn't just go and break down. We should educate the folks, go through the process, come up with maybe relocation of some sort. Give them time to move out and then begin. Just don't show up at night and just bulldoze them. What do you think? What do you think about that idea?
I think Pewee is paying attention now.
Oh, Pewee.
Yes.
Okay, we on the number 2 on this list here about the EPA had announced that as of April 16th, they will begin to demolish all homes in the wetlands. And some people in the public are saying that's a good thing, but there should be a process. We should educate, public information, and all of those things, and then begin, not just go and show up at night or in the day and just demolish people's home. We should begin with a public service announcement, education, time for the people to leave, enough time for the folks to relocate, and then we clear it out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I mean, this is not the first time we going to hear this pronouncement from the Environmental Protection Agency. We've been hearing this for many years, and unfortunately, the reason why, and I hope this should not fail, but this is not going to succeed, right? Because if the premise of anything is wrong, you're not going to, the implementation is going to be wrong.
Absolutely.
Now, to do these things, you have to put into place, government will have to, first and foremost, there have to be a kind of a policy structure around this, in city planning and community planning and the rest of that. Holistic community planning initiative will have to come to bear. the legislature, it's good that we have the honorable man here. Legislature, we have to work along the EPA and you structure a legislative program that you put money in the budget for this process. Now, how are you going to demolish those homes first and foremost? Some of those people being in those areas for 30 years, 2, 3, 4 decades, if you will, more, right? And they put into place some reasonable structure there that they put their life savings in. So to go about the implementation, it's a very good policy that we get rid of. We get the process of protecting the wetland. It's very good. It's environmentally friendly. It's going to do a lot of things for the country and for the environment, for the war as a whole. But there will have to be a kind of a structural strategy because the government is for the people. It is by the authority government is constituted. So we cannot come out to say we're trying to do things that will devastate them or that will, in other words, push them into poverty. So it's a very good thing to do, but we have to do it in collaboration with genuine legislation that will go a far way in protecting the interests of those people that are about to be affected. So yeah, it's a very good pronouncement, but the policy implementation, the strategy as to how we can implement this policy is faulty because you will have to have some support. Now, I don't know the detail of it. Is the EPA getting some international support to help those people relocate? That's one. Is the EPA, because proper information dissemination is a problem in our country, and that's why many institutions have not had the opportunity to implement these things in terms of the policy orientation line. It's a structural process. How our city and municipal governance system being also considered in this line? Is the mayor office informed? How long have we been informing the folks about this decision that we want to move to protect wetland? So it's a serious issue, and we have to implement. Are we taking a nuanced approach into this process? If there's a nuanced approach, then being arbitrarily taken, that's the problem we're going to face. So there will have to be a way that we can structure this process and allow the appropriate institution push the agenda given in the way and manner. But yeah, the decision is commendable, it's wide, it's innovative, it's about thinking outside the box. But the implementation policy, we are appropriately matching those things with appropriate compensation to those that should be a hit. It's going to be a more problem because if the society, if those that are dwelling in the wetland that will affect the environment, if you kick those people outside, they'll have nowhere to dwell. It's going to be an environmental situation also. So we have to approach this in the most steadfast, meticulous, and policy-oriented form, instead of being capricious and arbitrary about the way we want to move about it. So it's a good decision, but we have to reapproach it and put some policy thinking to it and appropriately legislate a kind of way that the people will be protected and the environment will be protected.
Great. Now, there's some breaking news in Liberia. Pewee, before you go, I'm going to go to Siliki on this one, but I'll come back to start with you. Today, the president was supposed to appear on Truth FM. And then Mr. Fangon intervened and said that Truth FM was an antagonist to the administration and the president should not appear on there. And the president skipped that appearance. So before we go to that, Siddiqui, welcome.
So Mr. Gimme, let's just give this quick information that the honorable is not coming to the screen yet, so we're just going to put him on from here.
Okay, great. So is he coming on the audio?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think we should ask the honorable what other questions we have so that we can get done with him.
Yes, when
we are live. All right. So are you getting him?
Honorable, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm the phone. I left the screen here because I think I'm jammed. Something going on. I can't understand. I've changed from all network. It can't work.
Okay.
They can knock the honorable out.
Yes. Okay. So, I mean, I know you got to go. So we'll go back to Mr. Pewee. The question he was asking, and then I think where he ended on was, where are you now? Where he's back? Honorable Pewee, go ahead, because you were on whether he was with whether he recognizes the speaker.
You're muted.
You are muted.
He still recognized as the legitimate head. If he still recognized Mr. Kofa as the speaker, and then I was also quickly asking him what's his thought process, what he's thinking about what is going to come out from the Supreme Court, and if the Supreme Court rule, is he going to they coming in, they're going to accept that decision or their opinion coming from the court. The last part of the question was, there's this so-called junction we're saying on social media, I don't know how true is that. It's a pavement. I think that should be part of his district. It's like that. I want to believe District 3, District 4 should be crossing that end or so. I don't know if it's part, but I want to guess that it's so. Where's that road targeted? And is it going through the Soapney Junction to Zubatam, Dopoh Road end across the water there? So that's just what I wanted to know also.
All right, I think I got the first two questions, but the last one I did working together. With the issue of what I will recognize the speaker, I've been there for a session, so I'm aware of a presiding from the government. So a regime presiding is there, and I'm there to do my work, and I'm also there to go against things that is against our people, against society. So I told you one of those things that was against our people is the issue with the house, whether we should have an audit department within the internal audit within the house. I said, no, you can't do that. You can't have an internal audit within the house. You already have an anti-graft institution. Those anti-graft institutions, you be given the right to audit you, right? Because we are the crafter of the budget. You can be the crafter of the budget. You formulate the budget. Then at the same time, you assign figure to the House of Representatives, because you go about your own budget, you place in figure, and you're saying that I will audit myself. It makes no sense to the Liberian people. So I'm saying that is wrong. That is wrong. The idea is wrong. We should have people to audit us. There should be an independent audit group that will audit us. That is not part of the House. Then another one, you talk about whether we accept the decision from the court. I think the court is the final arbiter. Whatsoever they come up with, whatsoever ruling, we support that. And I'm 100% sure that the ruling is in support of the minority bloc, not the majority bloc, right? We are all lawmakers. We are all friends. But there's an issue. There's a debate. The debate with the minority and majority of whose decision can be heard, whether there should be a procedure to remove the speaker. And according to Article 49 of our Constitution, to that of Article 35 that gives support with the argument, we are saying that whatsoever that the court will come up with will be in good faith for the minority bloc. And some of the things that I was there a few weeks ago, that's a few days ago, when the court came out and told us, look, the Chief Justice said, we need my associate justice, need police, they need security, right? It was a sign that it's going to be difficult for the majority, because the law cannot change. The law cannot change. In order to remove the speaker, you need to have 2/3, and 2/3 is 49. So if you cannot get the 49 signature that will appear during session, I'm not talking about signature that you pay for. I'm discussing signature that is legitimate, signature that will appear and through the process of voting. So we will know whether this group 49 is for the removal of the speaker. And we should have a time in session to explain to us based on all of your allegations, because it's not something real yet until the speaker can come and defend. And we need to set an investigation team to investigate, to know whether what they are saying, those counts are right or wrong, because it's an allegation. So with that, I still remain with the minority bloc. Despite what result will come out, I think the result will be in good faith, because based on the result, we expected the result today. But the president said we need to discuss. We need to discuss. Let me discuss with the both parties. He had time to discuss in the past. He called us before. We went there, and there was no discussion. And at the end of the day, what I'm afraid of is Article 43 of our Constitution that signed the bill of impeachment. I think there are some threatening remarks for other colleagues from the majority bloc to say that, Mr. President, you cannot adhere to what we have put together. If you cannot support us, then we will impeach you. That's the fear. For the calling of the discussion between the minority and majority. Actually, you listened to yesterday on Spoon. The minority will not attend. It makes no sense. When it comes to ruling, the executive branch have no control over the ruling process. So if you interfere, it do justice. So I think the president needs to be very careful. Those that advise him, we also put the president. I'm one of those that voted for the president, and today he is president. I think he should be very mindful of those that are around him and give him advice. We said this over and over. It was about time to mitigate to find solution, and all of them play a role. We are at the crucial point where we all wait for the ruling. The people of Liberia wait the ruling. So if the president can come out and say, look, here's the ruling, we need to discuss. I consider that to be interference, and the president needs to stop. He needs to give the court the chance to rule. But yet, we believe in the president. That's the mandate of the president to negotiate. Negotiation will go on. And I will say this: what should happen if you were to die today? You die tomorrow. If you die tomorrow and die today is the same death. So we are waiting the 2 weeks to see what will become of the ruling.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, you just had a breaking news here. The Honorable just confirmed that, yes, the president has been interfering. The president called them a meeting in which he attended. And the president called us before, and he discussed nothing relating to the case. So those of us who were here extrapolating, and we said it was alleged. Here we are. A representative, a lawmaker says he has been in one of those, at least one of those meetings where the president tried to intervene, discuss everything except what was relating to this case. So this is not hearsay anymore. It is not alleged anymore. Someone that was in that meeting that have attended one of those meetings said this is what the president has done and continue to do. Mr. Namwe, your take on what you just heard.
Two occasions. It's the issue of the speaker in here. PM tried to mitigate the issue, but there were lawmakers from the majority bloc saying they are not willing to release their committees. So this thing is long. It will take time to solve. It will take time to solve. There are so many things to it. So many things to it. Yeah.
Mr. Namwe, your take and any question. We want to keep the representative here because he has to go. We got limited time, but let's throw as much question and extrapolate as much answer. But I know this is one key one, and the second one there is that the majority bloc has threatened the president if he does anything against them. There's a possibility of they impeaching him. That's number 2 on here. They are threatening the president with impeachment. Mr. Namwe, any question?
Let get it straight. I'm saying I have a feeling that there is a threatening remark to the president.
Yes, that's what we got.
I have a feeling. I'm not saying that what it did. I'm saying I have a feeling. I feel that according to Article 43, there is a threat to the president.
Excellent.
Mr. Wow. This is serious business. Honorable, thank you for at least confirming that you met with the president on 2 occasions where he tried to intervene.
Yeah.
And apparently, he was overcome.
The meeting was set up. We had Derek DeLong, we had Young Lee, the Senate Pro Tem. They were all there. They tried to mitigate, and there were no results.
Can you tell specifically what the president was asking? What was he requesting?
Let me, before the honorable can continue. Dave News came on the platform. We knew that before the president
to see whether
discussed
there
it
can be a
weeks ago on the
solution.
platform.
And even in that
Just thought to say
meeting,
that.
told Kofa, Kofa, are you willing to resign? I think it was all about resignation. And Kofa said, no, I will not resign. There should be a procedure. Until then, we can get in session, recuse myself, right? We go through the investigation. If I'm guilty, I resign. That's it. So Kofa is not afraid to resign. He's willing to resign. But there are procedure lined up from our own constitution. According to Article 49, it says when there is a cause. So all of those allegations that were listed, they are all come. They are not real. Until we go for session, we all appear to section and go about the investigation to find out whether it's vivid, whether it's true, then Kofa can resign. But at the case, we all look to the Supreme Court for the solution.
Thank you, Honorable. Let me ask you this. There are reports, although yet to be substantiated, that the president has actually met with the judiciary, the Supreme Court justices, and asked them to hold off their ruling, their decision on the clarification on the Bill of Information that was requested by Speaker Kofa. And what you are saying here seems to really kind of line up with the speculation that the ruling may not go the way of the 43, and that the president is worried that they may not accept this ruling, and therefore may threaten to do what you're describing, including impeaching some of the justices and also the president himself. Now, tell us, what is it that the rule of law?
Can I come in 1 minute? If you really read Article 43 downward, as lawmaker, the House of Representatives, we have no absolute power to come up with impeachment.
Okay.
We can write about the impeachment, but both houses have to concur. Okay. So if both houses, the Senate and us cannot concur, then there is no impeachment. So what's the fear about? What's the fear about?
Okay, that's a good question. Yeah, what is the fear about? So then, what do you? I mean, let's try and take it apart. What do you think if indeed the president is requesting a delay of about 2 weeks or so before the justices will make public their decision on the Bill of Information? What do you think the president is trying to do within the 2 weeks? What does he need the space for? In your, as far as you know, from your inner, your vantage angle as an insider.
Yeah, I think what the president is doing is to have a dialogue with the two groups.
Is it me or we lost him?
I think we lost him again.
Okay.
Wow. Okay. Mr. Siddiqui.
Hello. Hello.
Honorable, are you back?
Hello.
Yes. Yes, you are live.
Yeah. Yeah, are you getting me?
Yes.
Yeah, what I'm saying, as it relates to the president, the president is trying to, in his own will, to make sure that people can say that, or people from outside, the citizen can see him as one who has control over governance. But it's a bit difficult now because I started this from the initial stage. When it started, we said that even with the issue of the Christian Council, the Muslim, the traditional leader, we were on radio telling them they need to make sure this crisis is not something that we can just set aside. We all need to work together and have solution, a common ground, so that all of us can start our work again. But then I don't know how most of our people took it. But at this point in time, I can tell the president to get those guys from their committees. And I told people, the thing is about committee. Everybody wants to be on a committee. So to get these guys from their committee, I was with them. I heard some of them. To get them from their committee now, it becomes more difficult for our president. And we all are the sources of the president. the way I see things, it will be very difficult for him. He will talk, they will not listen, they will irritate him, because we have few elites who feel that they should control the budget. This is wrong. The budget should be controlled by everyone in the interest of the people. This is what we're looking at. But I can assure you, the president will have 2 weeks. We will vote for 2 weeks. He may again ask for another 2 weeks. There will be no good fruitful result. I can tell the Liberian people that, because I'm in there. I know what happening. We have to be honest with our people.
Thank you, Honorable Mr. Siliki. The Honorable is having problem there, so we got to hurry up with our questions. Any question for the Honorable?
Yeah, glad that the representative made a clarity about, the majority bloc threatening the president to kind of impeach him. I was just about to say that they don't have that power to do that, but he kind of made a clarity later on. So my question to the Honorable would be this: so what if the Supreme Court come up and put up a ruling, and then it's in favor of Speaker Kofa, and then judging from the past ruling that took place a few months ago, the majority bloc turned that ruling, and with the support of the executive, to have Richard Kun as a speaker. So what if the Supreme Court come up with something that is not clear, and maybe the executive again, they turn this ruling? So what would be the stand of the minority bloc?
I think the first ruling was the ruling from the Minister of Justice. It was an opinion, it was not a ruling for them. So they were all jubilating around the place. I think the ruling, when it comes to ultra-virus, they had 2 specimens of it. One was to tell the minority bloc that you have the right to go for session if you are less in number, if you have a lower number, but then you also need to compare the other to attend. That's it. Then they say, look, for that, you need to go by, because in order to know how you compel them to come, it's not mentioned within the Constitution. It's not even in your own rule. So you need to get by to see how you can establish that. So they also look at the majority and they say, look, in order to have a session, you also need to have a presiding, and the presiding should be the speaker. So Speaker Kofa should be the one to preside. When in the presence of this, when the speaker is around, maybe in the surrounding, you need not to use the deputy speaker. So you cannot use the deputy speaker to preside. So what you did was ultra-vote. You need to go and correct that. So there is 2 part of it. So we all needed to have come together to have a common ground. After we have come together, we look at our rule and amend the rule, so that at least tomorrow, when another new lawmaker come, they can have a rule that is balanced. But then we will see things. The court is there. Tomorrow they will come up with their ruling. The ruling that will come up will be the ruling of people, because everybody watching the word ultra-viral, it was so strange. Not everyone, the old man that is in regular market that's selling better about man, a senior will not understand the word ultra-virus or virus. But then with the proper interpretation this time around by the court, I think we all listened to this one argument between Barney Sherman to that of Arthur Johnson. So it was made clear by the Chief Justice that she needed security for her people. And she outlined those things and told Barney Sherman, we told you to do this, that's you. And there was no answer from Barney Sherman. So it tells you that this ruling is in favor of the minority bloc. But then, if the court come out to say that minority, you are right, then we have what we call legislative politics. But we always say legislative practice, because legislative practice go along with procedures and rules. You cannot place that aside. But when you go along with legislative politics, that's politics. So you talk about majority. So majority will always have the number. And majority, we need majority for the House to run. So when it comes to us, I think the Liberian people will come about to speak. If the Liberian people cannot speak, it will be, I don't know what will happen, because maybe the minority will think that they are right, they will not go for session, or I wouldn't know what they will do. But majority will say, no, we're not going there. I think we're right. So the majority opinion I think now it's in the hands of the president. The president needs to come up, have a dialogue with everyone. I keep saying this. He's the head. You don't have a dialogue. Kufa is one person that can understand. Kufa is one person that has human feeling. Kufa is one person that believes this country should go foul. So if you call Kufa and the rest of the other guys and talk to them as your children, as your people, they will listen to you. But he needs to take the step. This is what we're saying. The president needs to take the step.
But Honorable, 1 minute, 1 minute. Honorable, you saying that the president should take a step, should take the first step. From what we are hearing, if the president have asked, and we're saying this with no proof, if he had asked the Supreme Court to hold on while he talked to his children, his people, isn't that what you are advocating that he should do, and he's doing exactly that?
But not at this time. At this time, we talk about ruling. The thing is ruling, right? Results from the court, interpretation from the court. What the court say according to the first ruling, they are trying to reinterpret. At this time for interpretation, for ruling, the president need not to come in between. When you do that, you interfere. You interfere with the justice system. You don't do that. It's not in Article 66, downward. You don't do that.
Mr. Siliki, your second question.
I've done this for a long time. Another person I expected to have united the group together was the speaker. The so-called speaker, Rivergee Kun, as a leader. What you do, you don't suspend people. You don't suspend people. You have people who are chair the district, who is the head of the district. So what you do, you leave suspension. Whether other people will say, let's suspend, don't suspend. Call them, have a reconciliation retreat, a reconciliation meeting. Go to the various guys' house in their home. Go make a home. Like follow the minority bloc. Talk to them. Speak to them. Right? Get to Kufa. Kufa, this thing is happening. Let us put it aside for the interest of the Liberian people. Right? That's a good leader. But you don't sit aside, right? And you feel that you all bosses and you suspend people, right? So I don't think it's in good faith. We expected this thing to be over a long, long time. Because we're doing for the Liberian people, to be frank. We are all not doing well for the Liberian people. And I will also say to all of the media group, we need to start pulling things apart. Let us strive by all be to join this thing together. Because we are talking about the first branch of government here. Let's talk about the first branch of government. So the boycott, the Rivergee Kun, everyone, they need to put themselves together quickly. Speak to the minority bloc. Convince them to come on board. Don't suspend them. Don't take their benefit. Don't take their salary. That's not peace. That's not unity. That's not reconciliation.
Thank you.
They need to do more. They really need to do more.
Thank you. Mr. Siliki, your second question.
So Representative Small, are you clearly saying on this show that the Supreme Court already has a ruling, but because of the intervention of the president, that's why they cannot conduct a final ruling or hearing into this matter? Is that what you're saying tonight?
You don't need to hear from me. I also listen to school. I listen to everyone. We got information within. We got information within the unit of the Supreme Court. So the information is all over. It's not small or more telling the Liberian people this is what's happening. The information is all over. And even when you listen to school last night, we all monitor the show. You say you have information from the court, and this is what's happening, right? So it's not something strange. It's not information I'm particularly giving out. It's an information that is all around the place. So to get rid of this information, to get rid of this new value, president needs to stand as the father of the land. Call them together. He have already started that. It's too late. But I think this not being too late. If I was Mr. Buckeye, I would allow the ruling to take place. The ruling take place, the soul will come down. Everybody will be fine that there is a ruling, whether you feel the minority, whether the majority black is wrong, but then he will be the mediator in between. Okay, here's the ruling, and the people say this. Please, because the number here is 49, please, can we work together and see how we can mitigate this thing? I think Kufa will be willing to listen. The thing is just simple. Kufa is saying, give me the chance to go and resign. I want to resign with honor. No, that with impeachment. No, you can't do that. This man want to resign with honor. Give him the chance to resign. And Kufuor is also not saying that Richard Kuhn is there and Richard Kuhn cannot continue. What are the budget will be hampered? Because that's one of the sides of the story. People feel that if this happy, if they could come up with the ruling, then there's the issue with the budget that have been passed. No. I don't believe that what my colleagues are looking at. The budget have passed. We are looking for solution. But how can we get a solution? We can only get solution by people going about doing the right thing. And the right thing is the rule of law. Let the court rule, and we all listen to the ruling of the court from them. Then we know that this what happened is wrong. Tomorrow we cannot repeat it. There should be a precedent set. So they just try to harmonize everything in between there. That we will go with our heart clear, and you will understand that there's a procedure in this country, just rule in this country, that we all need to follow. We can't just go against the Constitution. We have to go with the Constitution. That's all.
Thank you. Now, Honorable colleague, I need Ms. Dopoh is coming in real quick, but let me ask you a question here. Do you think the 2 weeks that is being purported that the president asked the Supreme Court is buying time until the Nema County election is over because he doesn't want the ruling to interfere or to have a backlash on their interest in Nema County?
I always say this. I believe in the people for Lofa County, the government for Lofa County. I believe they are honest people.
Excuse me. I meant Nema County. Nema.
Hello.
Yes, we are talking about the election. Yeah, the by-election in Nema. You think this thing is trying to be delayed so they don't have a backlash to affect Koga in Nema?
I think it's just the issue of being delayed because the ruling is the ruling. Nothing will change the ruling. I think the ruling, this 2 weeks is about negotiation. The president needs time to speak to both parties to see how there should be a solution. But then I'm afraid. I don't want at 2 weeks, but we have been called so many times. We listened to the president. He spoke, and there have been no good result. So I'm afraid that whether the 2 weeks may drag to another 2 weeks, and we enter June. We'll enter June where the chief justice will be leading. It will be another thing. And the real question, the regime chief justice will come in. They make it more difficult. So I'm a bit afraid for 2 weeks.
Wow. Ms. Dopoh.
Yeah, Honorable, I want to say thank you for expounding, on all of these issues that our country is facing right now. But I have one question for you, and that is, if the Supreme Court rules and in favor of the minority, and you guys go back to status quo and Fonati Kofa resigns, are you guys going to have another election to have a new speaker, or are you guys going to automatically or take the regime speaker as your speaker? What is the process? How does it work?
So the regime speaker is not my enemy. The regime speaker is my friend. So my friend, I think he believes in the rule of law. He believes in democracy. So we should all be able to go through election. You already claim that you have 49. So why would you worry about going through election? When you have your 49, just go through election and get your 49 too, right? And you become
he actually needs 37.
So we need to have election because that's what our rule book calls for, and that's what the Constitution calls for.
Right, and he actually needs 37 to become speaker, right?
Yeah, 37. So you already have 49. So
right.
For you. So we're worried about election.
Okay, so then automatically you guys will have to go back to election.
That way, with your 49 to go through election and win the seat properly so that people can admire you than to just get there and say you're regime speaker.
Okay, got you. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
You're muted, sir.
Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, let me reintroduce our panelists here. We have Honorable Mr. Victor Namwe, we have Mr. Pewee, we have Sarah Dopoh, and we have Brother Siddiqui. And on the line with us is Honorable Sumo K. Moluba, not Moluba, but Moluba, Representative District 3, Montserrat County. Real quick, Honorable, we are talking about the EPA just came up with a ruling that this April 16, which is few days from now, they will begin demolition within the wetland. Do you have any wetland in your district? And will you support such an act?
Yeah, I support the demolition of building within the wetland area because those that build in my district, those that build in the wetland, they are the elite. They are people that have the money. They are not the poor people like me. So they are not the grassroots people. They are the people that are in government, right? So it don't worry me. I'm not bothered by that. When you talk about alley, then you have most of the poor people in the alley. When you talk about wetland, to fill up the wetland, you need money. So to get that land, you have money. So for my area, I have people who work in government and have good money that took most of the wetland. And to have our government coming back to clean the wetland, I appreciate that because it helped to stop flooding, right? And the flooding issue bothers not just the rich, but the poor people like in my district, Ominga, right? LBS. We have people who build in the swamp. The Nukwe, the legs of the Pala, the legs of all the other guys in government. They build in the swamp, big building, and because of that, the water gets back to the dry land. And we just lose, last year, we lose a kid from that, the issue of flooding. So I think it affects the poor people more, and it's good that the government will come up. That's a bravo for the Boakai government, our president, President Boakai. So that's a bravo for him to have the EPA, and also bravo to the EPA. The young men are also aware of the young men. So another thing I have issue with the issue of EPA. I think EPA were like requesting. I think EPA they didn't have to request for money because they've seen quite recently during sessions they make mention of the coastal area. There was an allotment of $1.7 million from both donor to that of government that was given for the EPA, the issue of the coastal bill. We heard that all of this money went towards conservation. They only have $500,000. So we should be very careful how people use money in this country. Money should be used for the internal purpose so that our people can benefit. Not just for people to benefit and say consultation to put it in their pocket. So people should be very careful on how to go about doing things.
Good. Yeah. Mr. Pewee, are you there? We are talking about the ruling from the EPA that they will begin to demolish, and they give them 6 days. Actually, the next Tuesday, they will begin to demolish. And the Honorable is saying he supports that, but there's some skepticism because most of the land, most of the homes, the beautiful homes in the wetland belong to powerful and wealthy Liberians. So he wants to see what your take on that. Any question to him?
So I briefly understand what the Honorable is something that we know from the Omega side. That is just very small percentage of the so-called big guys that do have the money. But we have most of our very poor people, struggling people. I hate to call them poor people, or people that are struggling, that got the farm means they got homes on the wetland, and they did what they could do to do that. Right? Some of them even they didn't fill the place during the rain, and I agree that we need to protect the wetland because it's got some environmental benefit to the society. But what I'm saying, Honorable, is that we have small fraction of those that got properties on the wetland.
That would be a tough one, very tough one.
We have small fraction of those that got properties on the wetland that are well-to-do people. And I understand where Nukwe and the father got some area around the Omega area. They got some huge structures. These are real estates they put up in those areas. And I'm talking about the mass base of our people that they seen as those that got on the alleyway also. So if you are supporting, Honorable, my question now to you that if you are supporting folks to demolish homes from the wetland, what would be your stand when it comes to the EPA also implementing and the Public Works Ministry jointly implementing to get rid of all homes that are on alleyways?
And so the issue of alleyway has to do with development. It has to do with road connectivity. It has to do with the Clifton rule. If you are not, because I saw the issue of demolition in Ghana, when President Jerry John Rowland tried to open all alley. He did that like he did that like in 2 weeks. In like 3 months, we saw roll. So I expect that from government. You cannot come and demolish people's homes and things. And after 2-3 years, you cannot put anything on the road. We experienced that for a long time. There are so many areas that the open alley up to today, you see no quota. You see even the country, there is no quota. So what I'm saying is that on the Dura Alley, you have people who cannot afford a bill and they own property. Some of them own the property for 28 years, 30 years, right? So government need to have a package for them. But for the wetland, we all aware that for the wetland, you cannot build on wetland. That's the law. So if you bypass the law because you feel you have power and you went there to build,
Honorable, what about is also
because some of those people that have the land, they are seated in the hot seat. They are seated where we make the law.
Yes, Honorable, so, it is also
we have laws when we make a law. People that are there, it make it more difficult for the executive because if you do that, the next thing they will do, they will summon you. When they summon you, they put fear in you. When fear is in you, you try not to lose your job, right? Play the law low. So whatever will work, that's something I'm looking at. Whatever will work, for me, it will not work. It's just some flamboyant stuff to just promote the image of the government. But I think they're not doing well for the president. Because when you come with the law, when you say things and you cannot do it, then it becomes problem for the government. They say, oh, the government say this, or the puppet government say this, and this what happened. So there are things that they need to be very careful, things you say out, because law is something when you say it out, you should be able to implement it. If you cannot implement it, make it more difficult, people will not trust you.
Thank you. Go ahead. Real quick, I know you got to go. Let me have your take on today. The president was also speak on Truth FM. Unexpectedly, he skipped. He never attended, and we are getting information that it was at the behest of Eugene Fangon, the director of the ELBS system, concerned regarding the potential engagement with True FM, labeling it as a disservice to the president. Fagon emphasized that all boycotts to appear on the station perceived are opposing the government could undermine the administration. What is your take on the president was supposed to appear on the public radio, on the radio station, and the managing director of LBS said that station is basically anti-government, and the president decided not to attend? Your take.
When you talk about True FM being anti-government, I think it'll be relating to boostability. But most often, True FM, one of the stations that promote the agenda of our president. So with the president appearing on True FM, I think he's a private citizen despite being president. He has the right to appear. That's his fundamental right to appear where he wants to have a talk show. I don't think it's necessary that people try to stop him. And whether he appear on the nation platform, that's another thing. So I think Fakon needs to come down. He needs to be one person that will understand. We have both the private sector, we have and the public sector. So the president should be the one to promote both private and public. So if he gets to the private area like True FM to talk, I think the care for LBS should be willing to promote the agenda of the president. I see that as nothing. It should be a promoting thing. When the president appears anywhere to talk on a private station to talk to his people, I think people should at least accept it and try to promote it. Yeah.
Great. Gentlemen in the studio, if you have the video, can you please play it real briefly? Then we go to our panelists to ask some more questions on this saga from ELBS or from anything relating to the president not appearing on Truth FM.
So you can go ahead until we get everything set.
Great. On the other hand, President Joseph Boyka Sr. will host, they announced, will host a talk, will host talk show, journalists, media partners, president at the president dinner tomorrow, Thursday the 10th, Following the dinner, the president's communication team will coordinate and schedule appearances across various media platforms in an organized, structured manner. He said, thanks for the understanding. Basically, this is another way of saying, we don't want you, we will schedule you when we feel fit. Ms. Dopoh, your take on the ELBS man saying the president should not go on True FM. It is an enemy of the state, or basically because they say they are antagonistic to undermine the president. Your take?
Well, I think that was wrong. The president is president for everyone, whether it's opposition, imposition, whatever, private, public. The president is president for everyone. So I don't think he should be restricted from going to even stations that don't say, something good about him. I think it would have boosted his morale even more for him to go and face his antagonists, for him to face them and answer the hard questions. That would have boosted his morale even more and boosted his government even more. But to stop him from going to these places simply because they are, they don't speak well of the government, that's just wrong. And it sends the wrong message to our people that this president is just president for he and, the United Party. He's not president for all Liberians, because he should be able to go to all Liberians regardless of their position, regardless of what they say, regardless of whether they are against or for him. I think that he should be able to go to all of these stations and promote them and explain his policy or what his government intends to do for the Liberian people. He's president of Liberia, not United Party. Thank you.
Sidiki, the president sent out a bull. He says all media institutions, everybody should cover his dinner. No question will be asked after the dinner. His communication director will meet with you privately to coordinate when you can ask questions and what. Isn't this a setup that the president having dinner? Maybe everybody won't attend, but now he's saying it's basically a prerequisite to being on the schedule, to have the opportunity to be scheduled. Isn't this another scam?
No, I saw that post today from the executive mansion page. And I know the guy personally who invited the president to True FM. His only rival, he's the host for the True Breakfast Show at True FM. And, Liberians were going to forget, and I heard the representative speaking, the president need to take the leadership, the president need to add, he's the father, and all of that. Just the collaboration, Joseph Boakai as a candidate, the CPP, that collaboration had issues for many months. The president went to the U.S. Some of his supporters said, Mr. President or Mr. VP, can you please, as an elderly man in the CPP, can you work with your colleagues and bring together the opposition? Joseph Boakai promised the people that when I come back to the country, we'll work with everybody and we'll resolve the issues in the CPP. So what am I trying to point out here? This old man have never taken leadership role, whether to solve conflict or whether to stay with agreement. He had an agreement, a WhatsApp agreement with O'Neill to appear on the Truth Breakfast Show this morning. They had a conversation. Remember that one of the visits to the U.S. recently, O'Neill and this guy on OKFM called Clarence Jackson.
Thank you. That's a good one.
US. Hello?
Yeah, go ahead. We're listening.
Okay. So they travel with him to the US, O'Neill and Clarence Jackson. So he has a personal relationship with O'Neill. This old man had an agreement with O'Neill to appear on a men's show. The man did a publicity for about 2 days on Facebook that we're going to be hosting the president today at, 7 to 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock a.m. 2 days. Only for the president to come and say, you can't go over there. For me, I'm not accusing Facon. And this is what we've been doing since Joseph Boakai or the UP come to power. Joseph Boakai told us that he was fit, physically, mentally, that he had the ability that whenever people like Mamaka ability that everybody can be accusing. people like the Minister of State, Great Spirit, and the rest of the people, that he had the ability to suspend all people, to fire them whenever they do something that go against the Liberian people. He promised the Liberian people that. But just because today the president could not stand on his word to appear on the Truth FM, and people now blaming people around the president, say, oh, that they don't want to say that they might not go there. Now they don't. No, Joseph Barker himself. You can't make agreement to people. You and people agree on things. You say you're going to go on a show, and then the very day that program should have been, heard, and you in a 9 minute you come and say, I'm not going there, and we're going to have a media engagement. So why that communication or the team or whosoever that is responsible for it, why they could not communicate with Onu and say the president cannot appear on the Truth FM show? But only this morning, after some of the online TV, the closing argument, this closing argument, the reporter you guys have in Liberia, all those guys that were there today to cover that coverage or the appearance of the president, only for in the 9 minutes you come and say the president cannot appear there for whatever reason. You as an 80-year-old man, everybody call you grandfather, then you can stay to your word. You did the same thing with the CPP agreement. You entered this collaboration with an agreement that you guys are going to go for primary. But at the 9 minutes, your team come to you again and say, don't go for primary, tell the people to go as VP to you, for Cummins to go as VP, and you spread this thing on Facebook and make it look like somebody, was refusing to go as VP. Disagreeing or disregarding the agreement that all of you signed up to. So that is Joseph Barker, and we should not forget. The bill does not a respect agreement. You and him will have an agreement today and tomorrow. And to close on this, Mr. Nangbe, Mr. Jerome, I hear Mr. Nangbe outlining some of the things the president promised or this administration promised to do for the Liberian people that you have not been able to achieve. The issues of the asset recovery. We don't know where it is today. The war crime code and the rest of the things that Mr. Nangbe mentioned. Look, let me say this to you. Joseph Barker and the Unity Party. Hello?
Yeah, we're listening. Go ahead. Has he frozen? Okay, Mr. Nangbe, I know that the representative got to go. Do you have any question before we're asking for a parting words?
Yeah, no, I just wanted to know.
I want to speak to that.
No, hey, jumping over Pewee.
No, I'm coming to Pewee. I just wanted the representative. He was going to be here for 20 minutes. We have him for 35 already.
Okay, let Sylvester go. Send the representative running out of time.
Honorable, I know it's getting late in your city there. It's very late in your city. Do you have any parting word? Do you want to say anything else before you go?
Hello?
You are right. Yeah, so lazy.
Yes.
I'm not getting you.
Okay, I'm saying it's kind of late in your city. Do you have any parting words? Is there anything else you want to discuss before we let you go?
Oh, all right. I would like to say that to our people out there just listening to us that I'm one person that is open for discussion. One of those things I think I would like to discuss would be the issue of the commission of fine budget. When I talk about, I mentioned double dipping of figures within the budget. I also saw some discrepancy within the budget. I think we need to talk it out so that other financial experts can go through the budget and understand what we are saying is true. We spoke then before the budget alteration. We also took up the $16 million of spending. And I think there are other issues we have in the budget that we need to come back to discuss. So I'll be willing to come back to discuss and enlighten my people so that they can be aware of what's going on. And thank you to everyone.
Thank you very much. Honorable, you are welcome to come anytime. We want to announce here the National Association, the Alumni Association or LAP, Totman High School. If you're in a house, anywhere you are, Totman High School, this is it right here. I don't know how many people went to Totman High School here, but if you did, and don't say anything on here because we're not calling your name. Yes,
I'm in the house.
High School.
Listen, man. Pewee, where did you go to high school, sir?
MC.
Oh, you want to MC? Okay, it look like we got Torgbean High people here. You're talking all kinds of things. Yeah, go ahead, Sarah. Ms. Dopoh, I see this thing here coming. The National Alumni Association of Torgbean High School in the Americas present an election year, the most elegant weekend of the year, 2025. Can you complete it? It looks like it's going to be fun. You and I see the gentleman from Maryland County smiling there. Did you go to Torgbean High School, Mr. Nyenwolo?
T-High, I am a cardinal for life.
There you go.
This is Torgbean High School is where the brave go and die. Only the strong survive.
Only the strong can survive. There you go.
Why you trying to pull Pewee leg? You want to tell me strong people now? I MC, but
listen,
Sarah,
listen. Listen, we more powerful because we are the monkey who jump from tree to tree. So we more stronger. We can spring.
That's right.
Spring from tree to tree.
That's right. Sarah, talk about this event. When will it be?
Well, we'll go.
Who are the personalities there?
We are having our convention in October of this year, and we're also gonna be having a fundraising ball. And we are inviting the closing argument, all the closing argument family to come on here to Delaware, okay, and mingle with us and help support our alma mater, the great Torgbean High, where the brave men fought and died, only the strong survive. We'll have a meet and greet on October 3rd, 2025. It will be in Smyrna, and we'll also be having our convention. Also, and then there will be a ball. That ball is like 10 minutes away from my house. Where we're going to be having the ball is 24 Blevins Drive, Newcastle, Delaware, on the Saturday, October 4th. So I'm actually encouraging you guys to come out here and support our school, man. I mean, there are a lot of things going on. We are just trying to be a help to our kids back there. Make sure that they learn in a very comfortable environment. So come out and support us. Thank you.
Mr. Nyenwolo, what is the money being raised for? Is just a cause?
Well, I wish you had put that question to Sarah. I think she's in the leadership. I mean, I know Emma Staley, we talk a lot there. I mean, Torgbean High School has a lot of need. A couple of years ago, when my friend Sewola Kesley was the president of the Alumni Association, we were trying to raise $5 million to do a lot of things that needed to be done. I mean, the annex, I mean, there was a lot, and I'm sure some of those problems are still there. But I will pass it on to Sarah.
Yeah, I can speak a little bit on that. There are some photos that we have. We wouldn't want to show it here because if we do, it's very disgusting. School has some challenges. Even the bathrooms, our country overall has problem with maintenance, So there was sometimes the Alumni Association did some work on the bathrooms and things. But right now, as we speak, they are all dilapidated. There is no maintenance, So we're trying to raise funds to do a lot of things. First, the bathroom, contribute towards chairs, the painting of the building, a lot of other things we have on our plate. So, we want you guys to come. We have ordinary $25, patron $50, and man, you Mr. Gamer, you can be a sponsor. You can pay $100. That won't be any problem for you. So those are some of the things we have on our plate to do for the school, and we are asking the public to come out here and join us. Let's make Torgbean High great as before. Thank you.
Is the election here? Election year, Sarah?
Absolutely. It's also an election year. Mr. Amos Tyler is about to turn over the table to somebody else. I don't know who that lucky person going to be, but absolutely is election year.
Okay.
Election year. The monkeys. If you're from MC, CWA, ACS, what the other school? Cathedral, SDA, wherever you are, AGM, Well Heston, wherever you are, listen. One hand washes the other.
That's right.
You come to their event, they will come to your event.
Absolutely.
That's how it is. And the guys from I don't know what school Anthony Gay went to. But
I went to Rivergee school. I was a baby with the walking book.
Anthony Gay said I left TJ. So
You want to school in Seven Leon. If you want to school in Seven Leon, you can still send your money.
Vous avez étudié en Côte d'Ivoire, non?
Oui, j'ai étudié en Côte d'Ivoire. Bien sûr.
Yeah, if you went to refugee camp, no problem. Send the money. All monies are green.
No, but I owe it to Torgbean because many of my instructors were people who graduated from. Look, it was one of the respectable, high school in the country. Yeah. Torgbean, many of the people I encountered that attended Torgbean number days, you can appreciate that that level of discipline, that level of intellect. I mean. Look, Torgbean has set the stage.
It's true.
They set the stage for a government school to have that integrity when it comes to academics. I gave it up to them. And many of my instructors during my refugee days in Ivory Coast actually came from Torgbean, and they were brilliant. So I owe it to them. So I definitely will show
them. On a serious note, we'll give that to it. Though, in terms of putting up competitive people, MC2 went above that, but Torgbean had given it to them because the immediate former finance minister is a Torgbean product. Samuel Pewee, the former deputy minister for fiscal affairs, the former deputy minister for revenue, and the former commissioner of maritime, Dr. James Colley, is a product, very adequate, a product of Torgbean.
All those people were my classmates. We're all sat in the same class together.
Okay, oh, wow. Great.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
and also, but you are saying, Jenna, you say the monkeys, very powerful people.
Oh yeah, obviously.
Our immediate guest,
but you are a private school. We expect you to do that. You have the resources, you have everything.
Our immediate guest that we just host every Sunday, Francis Dopoh. Right? He's a proud product. We got it from the same class. We start, as a matter of fact, not the same year, but the same class. We started from 10-4. 11-3, 11-3, 12-3, and basically, I mean, they went out there because he went to the outside at 10-4, 11-3, and then but we graduated from the Monkey's Kingdom, and so basically, what Torgbean would do as government institution then, it was the most powerful intellectual-based government institution. Yeah. And I can recall as a young beginning, just entering Simako Catholic School, I think then in the second or third grade. I normally used to love watching the Meet the Challenge. At the time, Meet the Challenge was something that could take, first school set young intellectual student, young student.
Yeah.
Blew ourselves to the television to watch Meet the Challenge.
Absolutely.
At the time, the Meet the Challenge was Torgbean, it was St. Patrick's.
Yep.
The other school. These are the two major schools that nobody used to go for fun of. Torgbean, St. Patrick's. Torgbean, St. Patrick's.
Yep. That's true. That's very true.
Don't forget Friday now. We always took it from you.
Yes. Right.
Absolutely.
And then unfortunately, let me end it with this one. Many people don't want to hear now. I think there's a need. Torgbean is currently living past glory.
Yeah. That's true.
And that's the reality.
Yeah, and then need to elevate that
deep sense of past glory. As a matter of fact, Torgbean now is more Mediterranean oriented. Imagine all the kind of things like happening. The guys are frustrated, no teachers are not paid, nothing, they're not motivated. So I mean, there's a need to rebrand it.
Talking about militancy, Sylvester, I think our coup, we had a coup on campus. I think our coup preceded the PRC coup. The Musa Dean now. Musa Dean was he was on the team. The late war Gabi Tapia. You're talking about Christian Herbert. Samuel W. Sabwa. Edward Farley. But yeah, we had a coup on campus. And we had our Tribunal, which Samuel Clark and somebody else I forget. But yes. So, those were the days, man. I'm talking about class of 82. Some of you guys.
Okay, guys.
Oh, yeah, class of 82.
That's enough for you guys. That's enough for Torgbean High School. That's enough for Torgbean High School. You're not paying for time here. But let me recognize one of our astute panelists. He's having problem coming on. His name is Johnny. Is that Ndebi? Johnny and Debbie or Debbie. Hopefully, I'm not beating his name. It's Ndebe. He's in Monrovia. He's trying to get on. But we recognize.
I said, Johnny, that you should have come on from Liberia.
That's correct. He wants to come on, but the internet problem
Yeah,
there. So Johnny, we recognize you. Thank you very much for your work. Thank you for what you do for our country and the panel and this particular organization. Thank you very much. Now, let me go to Sarah here. You start with this here. I'm sorry that our brother has gone. What do you think about, you see, there's something about, I think Sidiki said it here. People are trying to put Joseph Walker in a cocoon, and they try to blame everybody around him except he himself. This is what Sidiki was saying, because this man has a record of not honoring contracts, gentleman's agreement, you name it. He has broken it all. He promised to go on the show only to renege and then blame it on Fagon and say Fagon told me not to go on that. Sarah, your take.
Yeah, people learn from me.
The Fagon told you not to go.
Yeah.
I don't get it though. I don't get it.
Thank you.
You know, well, you know, Mr. Gilman, you guys have to understand too that the old man is old. All right. And there can be sometimes I mean, it's just old age. I'm not trying to be talk down on him or anything, but sometimes even we all as grown up, we have some brain fog sometimes. You get you get things mixed up. But for that, it's possible that people around him who's supposed to be arranging these things for him, like appearing on shows and stuff, you know, the other people they are toxic when it comes to politics. They are not looking at the overall good of what it would do for this old man if he even appears on, let's say for example, an opposition channel. They're not looking at all of these things. They're just looking at the politics behind it. Or because this place, these people talk against the old man, so I wouldn't want him to appear. But my thing is, if he had appeared, it will also show that he is there for everybody. He's there for the Liberian people. Yes, he's president. He has his political party, but he's president for everyone. So he should go beyond bounds. He should go beyond boundaries to go and explain his policy or to take the hard questions from other people. It shouldn't just be about United Party and maybe his affiliate. But these people that are around the old man, I think a lot of them, they're not doing him no good. And at the end of the day, they're just going to mess his government up. I mean, if care is not taken because, they want it all for themselves. They want it all to be about them instead of looking at the overall good of the country. That would be my take on that.
And I will quickly speak to that. Actually, I didn't have the opportunity. I think what unfolded, and Sidiki says something that is very profound, and I take that. The fact that there was an arrangement between you and the journalist and the host, that you come in, I mean, the precedent, and that the angle I wanted to take it from, as Sidiki intimated. The presidency is not a joking place. That's why if you take on the matter of authority of a republic, that cloud, that presidency, it changes one own way of appearing. Your movement places is restricted in some cases, if you will, because your security is very paramount and it's something that is concerning the nation. So statement coming from the presidency should not be overlooked, and that's why we don't have two presidents that got that power to be president in the country at the same time. And that's why the Constitution is saying that the power that is bestowed onto the presidency cannot be shared even with the vice president. And that's one of the reasons why the president is out of the country. The vice president does not act as acting president. As the minister is out, is the deputy minister is the acting minister? No. When the president is out, the president will designate someone of his choosing to steer the affairs of the cabinet. But now, in other words, when they're doing their dissertation, they say in consultation with with someone then comes with the president, right? But he will designate one of his cabinet members to steer the affairs of the cabinet.
Absolutely.
The reason of that is that's part of the reason why the president cannot share his power. And statement coming from the presidency is very powerful and supreme. So for the president to make a commitment, and the private radio station is and a friendly journalist to the president also that got a very good relationship, as Sidiki intimated. And that was manifested as per the recent visitation to the United Nations General Assembly in September of last year. When they came to the General Assembly, he and Clarence Jackson covered the president trip to the General Assembly. And as a matter of fact, O'Neill rather, they a descriptive commentary during the president's coverage and the rest of that. So, and it's not the first time the president appeared on the same show, on the breakfast show, O'Neill Rao, during the campaign. And O'Neill Rao, this when he won the election again, he appeared with O'Neill Rao. It's not a strange terrain. Here's what happened. For the president to capitulate in a very short period of time, the intent of that would signal out of things outside that the president is not in charge. And the president's decision should not be abruptly changed by a handler, if you will. The handlers do intervene in terms of making some decisions around the president's activities, but it's a foregone conclusion. Yeah, we are. We already hitting on the president that the president is shying away from the media. There was another opportunity to showcase to the people of Liberia that this president is not incommunicado. This president is open to communicating with our people, and the president is going to come and do this. Now, what I expected them to do, I agree that the president should have, now other President Charles Taylor started it, a conversation with the people. President Taylor to do it monthly, add up to the executive mansion on there, PS on that, add on Kiss FM, then it will broadcast it. It will be simulcast on a lot of different networks. And that's why what I expected.
Because you've been talking negative, they froze you too. Mr. Namwe.
You got harmonized.
Yeah. It's harmonized. Yes. Let me read it here as it said. In a surprising turn of event, President Joseph Boakai Sr. didn't appear on Truth FM 96.1 as previously anticipated. This decision comes amid speculation that the station is tied to Musa Bility, a well-known opposition figure. Eugene Fagon, the director of Liberia Broadcasting System LBS, voiced concerns regarding the potential engagement with Truth FM, labeling it as disservice to the president. Fagon emphasized that all boycott to appear on a station perceived as opposing the government could undermine his administration. He further stated that if President Boakai intends to make any media appearances, the Liberia Broadcasting Corporation, ELBC, could be the primary platform for such engagement, distancing the administration from Truth FM and other radio stations that he deemed antagonistic. Mr. Nambe, this is ELBC that we know that's supposed to be for the Liberian people. Fagon is saying now they should be the propaganda mouthpiece of the government because they are friendly to government. And if it goes on any other station, like he pointed out specifically Musa Ability, isn't this a bad precedent?
Yeah, I think another unforced error and I think a missed opportunity. Look, first of all, it is telling when you begin to shield the leader from people, whether opposition or not. You're communicating to the people that there is something to be hating. And what is it that the president is hiding? What is he afraid of? Look, over here in the States, I mean, the Democratic president will sometimes invite or even appear on the Fox, on the Fox show and do interviews, or calling the press a journalist from the Fox crew, and vice versa. Republican, they might call MSNBC, and do an interview. It really, you're communicating strength. The fact that you can go, behind so-called enemy lines, and face an opposing press, it raises your profile. You have nothing to hide. You're fearless. You take all comers. So Fagon, especially of all people, when he was in the business we're in now. He himself he levied the same accusations against several leaders. So I don't know how he finds this to be counterproductive to the president. I like I said, I think it's really is an unforced error, and I think it really it speaks volumes that they think that coming on a radio station that belongs. First of all, you're not a guest of Musa's ability. You're coming to address the nation. You're coming to talk to the people or the things that you are doing. You'll be live in the studio. They cannot edit what you're saying. It's an opportunity for you to promote your agenda, your programs. I don't understand the argument. I don't buy it. I think Fagon should have known better than to put the president in this situation. The president should have known better than to listen to Fagon on this one. Where was Fagon when this appointment was set up? So when I read it, I'm still scratching my head on it. I don't understand what they think they will get out of this, other than negative press.
Well, Mr. Anthony Gay, let me play the devil's advocate here. The president have a lot of stuff on his plate. The media, we all been beating on the president for interference, for everything else. Don't you think, as a handler of the president, you say this is a trap? They're going to murder you when you get there. Small sheen better than big sheen. Wouldn't you just cut it in short and go out there and take an hour of beating?
I disagree, Mr. Gilman. The media is a very powerful tool. One of the challenges that the administration is currently facing is the communication. They have very poor PR, but they'll be blaming we that can come on shows and talk about national issue as why are we not talking about the good things that happen in the government. I'm not privy to this information. What are you talking about? I don't come to your meetings. I don't know what you discuss. I don't know your next plan or action and all of that different thing. How can I be the mouthpiece of the government? So in this DNA, and especially Liberia, there are more people that listen to the radio compared to people that watch us on the internet, right? There are more people in the rural part of Liberia that don't have access to the internet. So you coming on the radio should be a opportunity for you to communicate to the people of Liberia, connect with the ordinary people so they can hear from you. But now they are opening a can of worms now for a lot of speculations. Is it true that, what has been speculated that the president reached out to the, 5 justices of the Supreme Court? Is it true? Is it true that, the government is afraid that, that people are going to ask tough questions and all of that different thing? So now you kind of feel into the speculated thoughts of people. Look, and Mr. Nangwe alluded to that earlier, that, it is good to go to a territory that may not be, a comfortable zone for you and seize the opportunity to speak to the people. That boosts your ability to communicate, that boosts your ability as a leader to tolerate, dissenting views and all of the different things. You cannot be the president. Now, let's face the fact, let's go back to the election. The president won with less than 1 percentage point. So the country is divided. Part of your reconciliation process is to speak to the nation from behind the microphone and reach to them in their own bedroom, the kitchen table, and at the business centers and all of the different things. Speak to the people. Do not wait for a sauna before you speak. When are we going to hear from the president? Sometimes you have the 1 or 2 minute, snippets of interview from the airport, or when he goes to tour places like you're in Buchanan, somebody throw 1 or 2 questions at him. That is not hearing from the president. The president needs to mount the podium, just like the press secretary does for him, and speak to the nation. What are you afraid of? You've been in government all these years. He's a very clever older man. I asked this man question in Philadelphia. He cleverly dodged my question because he knew that question was a tricky question. He didn't answer it. I mean, you don't have to answer every question, but muster the courage come out, speak to your people. Fagon and the rest of the other people who told you not to do this, they are doing you a disservice. If the country goes bad, they're not going to blame Fagon. They're going to blame you. If the country is doing well, they're going to glorify you and thank you, Mr. President, not Fagon. Yes, you appointed him, but guess what? What is your legacy? You're going to leave with the Liberian people. You want to go down this route and you think it's okay for you? It is your choice, sir.
Thank you. Mr. Siddiqui, let me be honest now. Let me take Joseph Walker's side here. If Joseph Walker was to appear now on the closing argument, you will be asking him about the legislative scramble. You're going to be asking about the Supreme Court. You're going to be asking about the yellow machine. You're going to be asking about him sleeping. You're going to ask everything except give him chance to promote his agenda. So knowing exactly what Siddiqui would do to me when I stand before him, he's going to be asking me for the yellow machine. He's going to be asking about the CPP. He's going to be asking about my gentleman handshake. He's going to murder me. So why should I go on there? Be honest now. If he were to come here, he has all reason to be afraid.
So, and I like what Sylvester, try to point out. Truth FM, I don't think, or I don't believe that, this engagement today was canceled because, it's a multi-ability station. No. The president been there before to the campaign. When he won the election, he went there. So it's not a screen zone for him. But one of the things I can tell you is this. And, if you look at the executive mansion page today, they put up a statement. They're going to have a meeting with some press people on Thursday. Yep. And then after that meeting, the president will be appearing on. And then right after that post, the press secretary general, who's a school of Fafana, she went to her personal page, sharing the executive mansion page, a post to her page, putting on the page, on her personal page now that, but for your information, FYI, for your information, only invited media institution should attend this something. So they already have targeted media institution that they've sent invitation to come for that program they have on Thursday. But here is something I want to clarify quick. I believe that one of the key reasons the president could not go to Truth FM is because there was no guarantee that there was going to be a specific line given to the president where the UPP agent can call and sing the how they call it, and say, oh, Mr. President, you're doing well. Thank you for everything you're doing in the country, and making it look like everything is good in Liberia. That's one of the key reasons they could not, because O'Neill obviously will leave the line open. You went there, when Truth FM, we used to have a show on Truth FM. When we say we're having opinion pool, people will call it JB and John we are, because it's an open place. You're not giving anybody a number, say, when we go out and call and say you're voting for Cummins or you're voting for this or that. So it's going to be an open place. So anybody can call at any time. So that guarantee was not given to them. That, because remember now, the former deputy minister, information minister, that is suspended, and at the end of the day, he had to resign. Matthew talked about this thing. He said when you were working at the Ministry of Information, this guy who always come and saw people on Facebook whenever he disagreed with the government, called Daniel Sano. He said Daniel Sano proposed a project to them, and the proposal Daniel Sano brought was to pay United Partisans who can call on every show, every talk show in the morning and praising the government. So they already have that brigade. They call it Color Brigade. That's what Matthew said. So maybe the president team, was not giving that assurance that this is the line to call when you finish talking everything, where your Color Brigade can call and do all the praise singing. Because remember that, why it made the president go on the radio station, 80% of the caller disagree. Obviously, the opposition will say, but then they may already lose their election. So it's going to be a big blow for them. So now they're trying to have that conference on Thursday, maybe negotiate, have those numbers from the various institution the president will be engaging with to get to that call-up brigade so that they can be able to call and give a positive feedback. So to whatsoever radio station is going to be appearing to. For me, I think that was one of the key issues. Because O'Neill that I know, When I give you a number, say, when you come in on, give this to your partisan, that they call. And then when the show start, so they can be giving a feedback. He will not do that. And probably that's why they cancel it.
Mr. Nambe, in the release here, they are not saying this is going to be a press conference. This is not a media conference. It's a presidential dinner. There will be no questions asked, none of that stuff. After the dinner, you can meet with the communication director and make arrangement for appearance. That's what it says. So even though they are not going to the nuances of it, but we know what they are doing, they were smart to not say this is a news conference. If it's a news conference, anybody can ask questions. At the end, the caveat is you will have the opportunity to meet with the communication director to schedule when the president can get on your show. If the communication director 2-3 months from now, you call him and he says we are in the process of scheduling, that kills that whole thing. So these are people who are very good at propaganda, but I was able to catch that when they said that after the dinner, you will meet with the communication director. For many people who are not looking at that, they are looking at the president calling everybody. It's not for you to ask questions. It's for you to be covered, basically to give coverage to the ambience of the dinner and the dresses and the protocol and all of that. But that's about it. The window dressing, you can cover the window dressing, but you're not asking any question until you are scheduled to ask. Go ahead.
No, yeah, in those kind of gatherings, I attended one during the presidency of Dr. Sawyer. I worked for the UPP Times then. My buddy Milton Tieje, he and I were running that paper, and we got an invite to the mansion. But yeah, you go to the event, you sit around, the big, I think it's on the 4th floor or whatever. But you sit around, the president comes, maybe 5 minutes, he will talk to you guys on what he's doing, that kind of thing. But yeah, it is not a question and answer period. It is not an interview. You sit down with the president, you eat, and then you disperse. So, but in a way, I think it's a little closer to the president meeting the press, even though it's not exactly, a meet the press kind of thing, but it's better than nothing at all. Hopefully, at that event, then the press people, like you said, they can schedule and meet with the president later on, but there is always a fine line, between that. You don't want to be seen as trying to finagle your way into the good graces of the press. So you want to be careful there how this is arranged and how it's handled. But it is not an unheard of thing. It happens all the time. But it is not the same as meeting the press. There are no questions as far as I know. The one that I attended, yeah, you can chat with the president, but it's the off the record discussion. You can't.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's just like the White House correspondent dinner here in America.
Yeah.
It's a glamour event. You go there, you have a nice dinner, and what to go. You're not going to go question the president and stuff. And anything you're talking about is a joking stuff. It's not a serious matter.
Yeah.
It's a game.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the closing argument. We got about 15 more minutes to go. The guys in the studio, I know it's very late over there, but in Radio Land, you are now watching.
They were asking whether we could take some calls, Jerome. I don't know if you saw that.
Oh, okay. Let me go to the private comment part here.
Yeah.
And see. We got 2 questions. Okay. Yes. Let's answer. We got for the next 15 minutes. Yes, that's true. For you in Radio Land, let me reintroduce our staff here. I'm Jerome Gaiman. With me is the Honorable Victor Nambe. We got Siliki Kroma here from the ANC. We have Mr. Anthony Gay from the ANC. So, folks in Radio Land, we have the issues on the ground. We have the abrupt cancellation of the president's appearance on Truth FM. Your take on the issue. We are talking about what's happening in the Supreme Court. The president's intervention, from what we are hearing, allegedly, is it to shield the president's choice in NIMBA? Because if any ruling came out today, it will have a backlash and an impact on the election that's coming up. So is the president trying to kill 2 birds with 1 stone? Your take on the answer. Henry, let's go. It's all yours.
Thank you. Thank you so kindly, Mr. Gilman and the rest of the other guys. So to form part of the discussion, call us on 077701763 777017635. Then you're gonna be live here. You're gonna talk to the team. You're gonna weigh on issues that they are discussing. 077701763 777017635. For those of you following us online, +231 777017635 is the number to call. And then you're going to be live here on the closing argument on Truth FM 96 on the Renaissance Radio. 077701763 is the number to call. Let's get to the line, take our very first caller. To this caller, good morning. Your name from where you joining us?
Good morning. My name is Francis Banning. I joined from Port River, West Sydney.
Port River. Go ahead, Francis. Make a point.
Thank you for the topic of the discussion. I just hear you saying that the president was to adhere to 2FM, and then UG Facom put stop to it because of the political reason. There's no political reason, but UG Facom in this, they are not ready for the country to move forward. This is the reason why he decided to stop the president from moving to 2FM. And which, of course, if forgetting to know that President Parker is a material for everyone. It is not for an individual. It can be Ozoko.
You guys are getting.
It can be a Christian, Muslim. It's a president for everyone. Anywhere he to go, we are using him to get to us so that what going on in the country will know it much better for him. It was very wrong, but he put a stop to the president. And the issue under discussion quickly for the two speakers that we have in the country, we are sitting down waiting for the Supreme Court ruling, and we want for Supreme Court to rule in the favor of Fanati Kufa. It is now the embattled speaker. That means it is not elected speaker. We want the elected speaker from the House. We elected our representative and they elected the speaker. So we want the Supreme Court to rule in favor of Fanati Kufa. That we are sitting waiting for.
Okay, my brother.
Thank you very much for the topic of the discussion.
Thank you so kindly as well. 077701765 777017635 is the number to call. +231 777017635. Call us. Make a point on the closing argument. 077701763 is the number, and they're going to be live here to talk to our team of panelists here on the argument. Good morning, your name from where you joining us?
Yes, I'm calling you from the community.
You say your name and from where you joining us?
Yes, I say I'm calling from Kehleboe community.
Oh, Banave Keba. Okay, my brother, go ahead, make a point.
Okay, thank you. You know, you talk, and talk. From the initial stage of the whole, they almost 5 months to understand it. President just letting you know that we need to that. Where are we headed? So all of the educated people, generally, they are financing they are experience because they are experience. So look at it. That way, you want to tell me the president is going to come to the side just to do elections to be held 2 weeks from now in Yuma County. And this was the chairman for the majority of the years where I said it. You want to confuse us?
Okay, they cannot confuse us. You know, or better still, they cannot confuse us. 077701763 So, Thomas Nearing, you got your family there. Let them be wise. Please understand that they could make the right decision for their county. It's optional to you to know who to vote for, just for your life and the life of your children, and for Liberia as well. 077701763 Good morning.
Good morning.
Your name from where you joining us?
Yes, my name is Nyenwolo.
Okay, Jerry, go ahead. 1 minute.
Thank you for the platform. I'll let you use it. We appreciate the task for the concern to Liberia. Because more often we always talk about our special come into help Liberia who can afford the education extra. But you know, my concern is drawn to business back home. You want to respond as every minister, the right government, the same thing is suspending for. You know, sometimes we need to be careful to leader when get opportunity. Who are you to eat especially don't go to LPS? What are you talking there? Or don't go or conversation. Who are you? Director for what? You are appointed as Minister of Information. Then the being the director of communication without LPS. Then you say, don't President, you know, they put an answer. They're not answer. People to stop doing this thing wrong against he wants to start it. Now stop it here. Government is next to go. I want to respect that. I come on recommendation to move the nation forward. Thank you for your platform. I appreciate that. Inshallah.
Thank you so kindly, my brother. 0777017-635 plus 231-777-017-635. It was totally wrong. That's it. It has happened. That's history now. 0777017-635 plus 231-777-017-635. Call us and then talk to us here on the argument on Truth FM 96.1. 28 minutes down 12 o'clock. Right there on the dot. 777-017-635 is the number to call. Oh my God. To this caller, 0777017-635. Good morning, Dredge. Away from your monitor the feedback. Good morning.
Hello. Okay.
I'm still getting the feedback, my brother.
Yeah, okay.
Your name from where you joining up much better.
Yeah, I joined you from Port River Resident. It's a present panel I just left the land.
Okay, my brother.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, the last time I called and I told you people that I would like for me to be relating the issue in my peninsula. Bandi, the city, the Lama, and the Mende. But sometimes you can really give me a chance. That's all.
Okay, my brother. I will take a number. I'm hoping to store this number, and afterward, the team will look at and then see what they can do about that. But I don't have the power to tell you, say, oh, yes. It is actually confirmed. 0777017-635, 777-017-635. Good morning, your name from where you joining us?
Good morning, sir.
How are you? From where you joining us? What's your name?
My name is Ivan Chue. I'm calling from Nipo Street.
Nipo Street. Okay, my brother. Make a point.
Yes. You see, my brother, God bless this country. For what you guys put in, not that come from somebody else. You know, our boys in country and people to class and the 3 years old. Our president not doing nothing. You see, they put everybody to come to meditate with. Our days, you see, those days, everything was all right. Already, the constable in the house, look at the house, and then boy in the house, whatever for money, to move your connective over. Connective over is where that other people that don't pay all the provision to take it in your house. Yeah, so now for that. When I take over the you want to know how much you making, how much you having to reserve. If we get any government job, you must know where you get for people get up but they have position. You got nothing, you go to one man rich. But you don't got nothing for yourself. Yeah, what president for the boat taking care of the you know. They will feel away. Go not sleep you.
Okay, my brother. God is not sleeping. 770-176. I will take 4 more calls and I'll go back to the team because of the time. We don't have the luxury of time here. 0770-17635. Good morning.
Hello?
Good morning. Your name from where you joining us?
Hello?
Are you there? Good morning. Your name from where you joining us?
Hello?
Hello, are you there? Your name from where you joining us?
Yeah, cars out.
You see it?
I'm calling. Cars out.
Oh,
I'm calling.
you're not coming too clear, my brother. You have the call back. You're not coming too clear. 07770176350. 07770176350. You're not coming too clear. Please call us back. I will take 3 more and I'll go back to the team. Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
I'm okay, boss man. What's your name and from where you join us?
Oh, my name is Lomati Afe from Buchanan Special.
Buchanan Grand Bazaar. Go ahead, my brother.
Yeah, exactly. The post station of Buchanan.
That's correct. That's correct. That's my hometown. Go ahead, man.
The agreement was mine.
At the time, our Excellency Junior Human Worker was president. He said there's no red state, no green state. I'm a president for everybody. So meaning that it is for everyone. My dear, when I hear today that the president asked the Supreme Court to let it intervene, talk to the 2 blocks, I said, why could I do that for a long time? But today now, because they know very well that the Supreme Court will now rule on their favor. It is one of the greatest mistakes that the government has done. It's not that is why when I hear that number one, the Supreme Court said they need secretary. Number 2, the Supreme Court can say they are waiting for the number friend taxation. All that one because they know that they are failure already. If once alone have sent a message that they should confirm with the Supreme Court. Even the time the Supreme Court, when Nimakante for some of my inauguration, he said clearly what was the mind. They make it clear to the citizen. So, meaning that one that they are saying, when as lawmaker they say that what you people are doing is anti-constitutional, is the slap on the faces of the lawmaker. Almost like when journalists they tell you that your presentation is baseless, and then you are the whole man, you will not even count on that regular. Thank you very much for your insight on that.
Thank you so kindly, boss man. We'll take 2 more and we'll go back to the team. 777017635. 07770176335. We'll take just 2 more and then we'll go back to the team for their parting comment because 25 minutes up to 1 o'clock. Yeah,
that's late.
07770176335. While we're with the calls, it is back to you guys, Mr. Gilman and the legs of the other guys.
Great. Mr. Siddiqui, 1 minute. Let's close so these guys can go home. It's very late.
Yeah, thanks to all the callers. Thanks for the feedback. It's really, really appreciated. But I wanted to close on this Eugene Fakunga, and I will give this to Stanton Waterston,
Siddiqui, are you there? 1 minute, just 1 minute. Let's talk to the caller. Good morning, your name from where you joining us?
Let me appreciate the support for our angle. I should appreciate you guys effort on this wonderful voice platform. For some of us, I think we should listen to the code. Whatsoever is done as the economy. I think that's going to be it. Okay. Well, whenever, for me, I want to say it is the Supreme Court is the one that made the whole case to launch the day. Because because if they were coming to be fair in order to force the referral place where the government will start the porting of that animal farm. That's like porting of the animal from the everything. But they have been debating, I don't know, I'm going to post on power, I'm going to power, that was bring all the debates that they into the whole thing.
Okay, my brother.
Everything for the post there from the diaspora. Yeah.
Okay, my brother. Thank you. You know, there are times the way you get sick, that's not the way you get well. It is step by step, you know. Yeah, so Saidy, go ahead.
Yeah, let's be brief, guys. It's very late down there.
Yeah, so basically, as I was saying, those guys they use the spoon network to get appointment, and the moment they get it, they start attacking the Sin Stanton, and not only Eugene Facron. And I saw him recently; he's calling Stanton criminal and all of that. And today President Barker should be aware. If anything happens, President Barker say, you know what, Eugene, I no longer have trust in you. I'm bringing somebody else. Eugene will come back to America and start attacking the same President Barker. His own record of saying that Joseph Barker is an old man, you bring in function, the videos, the videos out there, it's all in the media. So Eugene, that's why he's good at. Once he's in the system, he had himself to say he's a big professional and all of that. But I think it was a great show. But Liberians, I think it's about time we try to do things differently. Everything we're complaining about today, the law, the rule of law not being respected, the unrealistic commitment this government is making to you, Liberian people, to all of us, and the rest of the, the rest of the issues that we are faced with. These are things that we predated. We told you that this President Joseph Barker has been in government for 40 plus years. There's nothing you could point out to as a success story, and then he was not somebody that you could give a country to kind of expect the kind of change or expectation that most of you today have in the country. So we have to correct the mistake. And how do we do that? Not because he's president now, so we should just sit and just allow him to do anything from now to 2029. Let's put the feet on the fire. When they do something, let's speak up. Let's demand that the rule of law be followed. Nobody should lie to you that the president get a right to stop the Supreme Court from, giving an opinion or giving a ruling simply because he wants to intervene. If the president wanted to intervene in this matter, it's been a long time ago. We could have done that. But at this point, let's demand that the rule of law must take its course. I think it was a great show, and thanks to all of you.
Thank you. Mr. Gay, 1 minute, please. It's late in Liberia.
Absolutely. Thank you, gentlemen, and for the opportunity once more. Look, I want to end with this. Yesterday, I didn't get a chance to be on the show, and my political leader in the party officially endorsed Madam Kehleboe Gongloe. And I think this administration is trying everything for the Supreme Court to not give her ruling before they suffer another setback in Nima County. That's why they're withholding that thing. It is alleged that the president reached out. But we want to say thank you for the party and thank you for our political leader for mustering the courage to do that. For me, I said a long time on this show that I endorsed her. I was the very first person that came up in it and said I was going to endorse Madam Kehleboe Gongloe. So I want to say good night to you guys, and hopefully we meet tomorrow.
Mr. Namwe.
Yeah, thank you very much, Jerome. Thanks. Let me thank the guys in studios tonight. When it's very late, thank you very much for your patience and your time, your expertise. Thanks also to the audience. Siliki, Jen wants me to tell you what is wrong with people at Fagon could be the coronavirus that is giving a hard time. But let me also thank the Honorable Sumo Mobai for coming on tonight. And I think he really did well in bringing a lot of clarity to the issues. And thank you very much. I agree. I think shielding the president, from interviews, I think it's a mistake. And I think this is something that will come back to haunt them. But, hopefully they'll find a way to turn it around. But great show. Thank you for the time.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much in Radio Land for listening. Hard work this time of this in the morning. You're still doing this for your country. Love for country. We thank you very much. Tomorrow we'll be here at the same time. Thank you to our audience. Thank you for the call. Thank you for the comments. We appreciate you. And as always, if you have an argument, it has to have a closing. If you want to close it, you got to close it right here. Thank you very much. Back to the studio.
And I tell you, come on, are we going to care? So certain that we're going to care. Senzo. On a Thursday morning, are we going to care? So, before it's too late. And that's it on a note. We like to call your day. We so certainly like to call your day. Do join us. That's gonna be on 9 o'clock again on Thursday, 9 o'clock, 9 p.m. Join us. The argument, the team gonna be here again. But that's what we're gonna care. Also, certainly gonna care for you. So my name is Henry Jala is my name. Ansu Salif, and my man Torgbean. We've been here. On behalf of the team, we should thank you. Thanks so kindly for joining us. Bye bye from my end.